Testing. Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Testing. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Everything okay?
Tonight, live from Soldier Field in Chicago, the Raiders meet the Chicago Bears. Raiders football is an exclusive presentation of Bob Speck Productions and is brought to you by Nissan Cars and Trucks, built for the most important race of all, the human race. By Budweiser, proud sponsor of the 1988 U.S. Olympic team, this Bud's for you. By AM/PM Mini Markets, you'd be surprised what's cooking at AM/PM. By Taco Bell. Enjoy the great taste of Taco Bell at over 280 locations throughout Greater Los Angeles. And by your Southern California Ford dealers. And hello, everybody. I'm Jim Hill. Welcome to Channel 7's special live coverage of Raider preseason football. Tonight, it's the Raiders taking on the Chicago Bears here in Chicago, the final preseason game for the Los Angeles Raiders. And with me is head coach Mike Shanahan. And, Coach, everyone talks about Willie Gault coming back to town. It's a homecoming of sorts for you, isn't it?
It's great to be back home. I haven't been back for a long time. At the same time, you develop a few relationships along the line, and you like to play well.
And along those same lines, a lot of people wanting a lot of tickets.
Anytime you have 8 in a family and you've got 6 kids and they've got some friends, the demands are high.
Coach, a couple of weeks ago when you and I talked, you said you were happy with the team's effort and performance even though you didn't have a victory. You have some lineup changes tonight. Are you kind of disappointed in certain performances?
No, I'm not really disappointed in certain performances, but what I would like to do is make those adjustments or experiments during the preseason. You take Don Mosbar over at the tackle position. He's practiced there, but he hasn't played in the game. He'll get a chance to play today against a fine defensive football team.
You know you want to go into the regular season with a victory, which is just a little less than a week away. Are you kind of, and you don't want to use the word desperate for a victory, but it's kind of getting that way?
No, I think you want to play well, especially against a team like Chicago, who's going to be there in the playoffs. They've been consistent the last 3 years. And you take a look at the one-loss record, they are the best team right now in the National Football League, according to the one-loss ratio. So you want to play well. At the same time, you don't want to panic, but at the same time, you feel like if you can play well in a situation like this, that you're going to be going the season on a positive note.
On the defensive side, from a positive note, you got Matt Mullen back, so you have to be happy with him being back, knowing that from a defensive standpoint, those mental mistakes won't be made.
Well, not only is Matt back, but Howie's back, and at the same time, you got Lyndon King, who's not 100%, but he's going to play tonight. You got a combination of secondary playing together for a full week. So I feel good about our practice and our preparation this week, and we just got to go out there and do it.
All right, Coach, thank you so much, and good luck tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, head coach Mike Shanahan of the Los Angeles Raiders. So it's the Raiders and the Chicago Bears coming up live right here on Channel 7 from Chicago, Illinois. Now, LOCASALE will be with me in just a couple of moments with the starting lineup and the opening kickoff right after these commercial messages. Flawless. We should leave now.
Pass the line.
preseason football. And Al, the first thing you notice looking at the stadium here in Chicago is the field, natural grass.
Well, it's Soldier Field. It used to be artificial turf. They changed to natural grass for the 1988 season, but they did it so late, it all tore up in the first preseason game a couple of weeks ago. They had to bring George Toma in, who was just featured this week in Sports Illustrated as the top groundskeeper in the National Football League. George works for Kansas City. He came in here, has done an outstanding job of putting it together. The grass is a little high. It might slow the speed boys down. It'll tear up, but not as much as it did 2 weeks ago.
And so the Raiders have won the toss and have elected to receive and defend the goal to our left. The Bears will kick off. Kevin Butler all set to kick off for Chicago. Back deep for the Raiders will be number 88, Chris Woods, and number 85, Tim Brown. So the Raiders looking for their first victory of the preseason and their first victory under head coach Mike Shanahan against the Bears, who have a preseason record of 1-2. The Bears just lost to the Dallas Cowboys on Monday. And our ball game is underway. It's Timmy Brown at the 3. Tim Brown gets out to the 24-yard line. That's where the Raiders will take over, 1st and 10 on a return of 21 yards. Steve Berline from Notre Dame, who played just about 90 miles from here, comes out, and he will lead the Los Angeles Raider attack. He has 4 interceptions so far this season, but Al, 2 of those came off of passes that really should have been caught.
Right, they were deflected out of the hands of the receivers into the interceptors.
There's a starting lineup for the Raiders: Allen, Smith, Galt, Lofton, and Ty Christensen. And the fine offensive line: Lachey, Hannah, Lewis, Wilkerson, and Mosbar. On 1st down, Berline across the middle, intended for Willie Galt. A little too high for him, and it is incomplete. Mike Richardson is defending.
You know, in the newspapers here this week, they talked about Galt wouldn't go across the middle, said some of his former Bear teammates on the first play. Coach Shanahan let him know Willie Galt will go anywhere he's told to go.
And the defensive alignment for the Bears: William Perry back in the lineup, along with Steve McMichael and Dan Hampton and Richard Dent. They're the linebackers: Rivera, Jones, and Morrissey. And the secondary: Richardson, Jackson, Durson, and Sean Gale.
There's a free 5 yards. Now the Bears have rearranged their defensive line from what you saw there. They have put Perry back inside.
Encroachment prior to the snap. Number 99 defense, still 2nd down.
Yeah, they've moved Perry back inside and moved McMichael to the outside. There's Coach Mike Shanahan in the black and white Raider sweater, signaling the plays in. Nick Nicolau, our wide receiver coach.
So the Raiders pick up 5 yards on the penalty, and it will be 2nd and 5. Marcus Allen, Steve Smith in the backfield. This is a toss to Allen. Allen trying to bull his way to the 35-yard line. He gets just about to the 34. It will be very close. Pickup of about 5 yards. Tackle there by Mike Richardson.
Bears are playing with a new set of linebackers, really. Singletary came up with an injury. Is not going to play tonight in the inside. Otis Wilson came up with a severe knee injury, is out for at least 8 weeks.
So Jim Morrissey starts for Otis Wilson. Dante Jones, 4th pick from Oklahoma, starts for Mike Singletary.
And Wilbur Marshall was traded to the Washington Redskins earlier in the year after playing out his option.
On 1st down. Berline going deep. There's Willie Galt. Tipped away at the last second by Richardson.
Galt was in behind the secondary, but that's a long throw. That one was about 65 yards in the air, and we'll take another look. You're looking at this one just as a safety man would be. Play action fake to Marcus Allen. Leakage inside. Berline moves off and then unloads. See, Galt's got a step. The ball hangs. Good reaction by the defensive man to the ball in the air. The longer the throw is, the more ground that defensive back can make up.
So it is 2nd and 10. Just getting underway here in Chicago. Hand off to Smith.
Steve Smith gets to the 39-yard line, pick up of 5 yards. You know, you're talking about Willie Gault coming back to Chicago. Some of his former teammates in the secondary for the Bears have popped off a little bit, saying that they want to send him a rude welcome home. And defensive people have to be careful, because while they can get 4 or 5 licks on you, all it takes is just one. And the Raiders have shown that they're going to try and get the ball to Willie Gault before the night's over. On 3rd down, Berline from the shotgun. 4 wide receivers in now for the Raiders. Here comes Richard Dent. He knocks the ball out of Berline's hands, but the Raiders get it back. Richard Dent came around the right side as though he was not even touched. A loss of 13 yards.
He'll be coming from the top side. We've got the wrong side to see it.
The Raiders recovered the ball.
There he is, went around the outside of Jim Lachey. Dent has great initial takeoff. That's the hardest thing for any tackle to block. Somebody who comes blowing in quick.
And so does Jeff Dossett punting now. And a fair catch for the Chicago Bears. A fair catch there is made by Eric Starr. So there is no score. 13:28 left to go in the first quarter. The Raiders and the Bears a punt of 38 yards. They're going to get it to him. They're going to get it to him. Back here at Soldier Field in Chicago, Neil Anderson just had a 3-yard pickup for the Chicago Bears. It is now 2nd and 7 on the Bears' first possession of the night. Jim McMahon is at quarterback for Chicago. Matt Sewell in the backfield, along with Neil Anderson. McMahon passing on 2nd down.
Raiders played that one as a pass and had a 4-man defensive line in with Ron Brown, a converted linebacker, playing one of the end spots. Howie Long and Scott Davis inside, and Mike Davis at the other end, at the right end.
There's the offensive line. Wojciechowski, Bortz, Hilgenberg, Thayer, and Keith Van Horn for the Bears. Anderson, Suey, Dennis McKinnon, Dennis Gentry, who the pass was intended for, and Emory Moorhead is the tight end. 3rd and 7. The Bears now have 3 wide receivers in.
Raiders have 6 defensive backs, 1 linebacker, and 4 down defensive linemen.
Flags on the play. It's a free play for the Bears. And McMahon is run out of bounds. Run out of bounds there, about the 30-yard line by Ron Brown from USC in his 2nd year. So referee Jerry Seaman will now give us a call and mark off the penalty. And it will be against the Raiders.
Offside, number 75 defense, still 3rd down.
Offsides penalty call against number 75, Howie Long for the Raiders. Raiders make some changes in the defense now, put in a 2nd linebacker, an extra safety man, take out a couple of the corners because of the potential for the run in this situation.
So it's third down now and about 2. The Bears lining up in the full house backfield. McKinnon in motion. This is a handoff to Max Suey. Suey gets enough yardage for the first down up to about the 49-yard line. Tackle there made by Eddie Anderson.
That's on lead.
10 for the Bears. Ball at their own 49-yard line. 12 minutes left to go in the opening period. Handoff to Anderson. Trying to get to the outside. Has nowhere to go, and there are about 5 or 6 Raiders to go over and make the tackle. Rod Martin also in on it, leading for Los Angeles along with Howie Long. So one of the things about the Raider defense, they talk about the offensive system being new. The defensive system isn't new, and we're starting to see where they're trying to pick up that intensity.
A great job there by Lyndon King, who's playing right now at about 252 to 255, stringing the play out, forcing Anderson to cut back toward the middle, and the pursuit. That is all the guys moving toward the ball. All of a sudden he turned around, and there was Howie Long in his face.
Beautiful night for football. Temperature in the mid-60s. As it is 2nd and 9. McMahon, the inside handoff to Dennis Gentry, the wide receiver. It does not fool the Raiders at all. Tackle is made by Reggie McKenzie. So the Bears trying to pull something a little different than inside handoff to a wide receiver out of the backfield.
Well, you're trying to combat the fact that the defense, the Raiders in this case, are changing their personnel every down to go to situation substitution, try to get the people on the field that best fit the down and distance. So you got to try and fool them once in a while, otherwise you're going to get some mismatches.
The Bears have 3 wide receivers, actually 4 with Dennis Gentry lining up in the backfield from the shotgun on 3rd and 7. McMahon down the middle for Gentry. It is too long for him. Covered there by Terry McDaniels and Zeph Lee. So that will bring up a 4th down situation. Northridge is in to punt now for the Bears. And Tim Brown, the Heisman Trophy winner, back to receive for the Raiders at the Raider 10-yard line. Good high punt. Angling for the coffin corner. Beautiful punt. Goes out of bounds at about the 7-yard line. And that's something we haven't seen lately much, not only this preseason, but in years past. People heading for the coffin corner. 41 yards. There's no score. 10 minutes left to go in the opening period. So after that fine 41-yard punt by Brian Wagner, Raiders take over 1st and 10 at their own 7. Burline. Intended for Todd Christensen, incomplete. Covered there by Dante Jones from Oklahoma.
See Christensen kind of slow blocking and breaking the outside. The linebacker came up to stop the quarterback from running, leaving that area open. Ball was a little behind him, but those kind of have to be caught.
And a little further downfield, wide open, was Marcus Allen. So it is 2nd and 10. Allen and Steve Smith in the backfield now for Los Angeles. Goal line from his end zone. The blitz is on. And it is a safety. Dave Durson.
Let's take a look at that. Number 22, Dave Durson, coming in from the secondary. Stun up the middle was picked up. Durson comes through clean. Nobody there to block it.
So that gives the Bears a 2-0 lead. And I can tell right now, Al, that was a blown assignment up front, because before tonight's ball game, I was talking to Steve in the Raider dressing room, and I said, what is it that's going to cause you the most concern? He said, well, the Bears like to blitz a lot from the strong safety position, and we must pick up Dave Durson when he starts to blitz. If not, we're going to be in trouble. There's a perfect example of that. So it is 9 minutes, 54 seconds left to go in the first quarter. The Chicago Bears lead the Raiders 2-0. Kick now after the safety by the Bears, Keith Ortego and Dennis McKinnon.
Raiders have their choice of kicking off or punting. Use the punt, you can get better distance.
And Gossett gets off a high punt. This is McKinnon. Has some running room. Gives the Bears good field position back up to about the 42, 43-yard line. A return of 20 yards. And that's where the Bears will take over 1st and 10. Tackle made by Andy Parker. So we were talking earlier about not seeing a lot of coffin corner punts like we used to see, 5, 6, 7, 10 years ago. The Bears come up with that, puts the ball on the Raiders 7, and it leads to the safety. So the Bears have the ball once again. 1st and 10, ball at their own 43. McMahon going deep. Intended for Dennis Gentry, covered there by Terry McDaniel. McDaniel is the #1 draft choice, one of the #1 draft choices that the Raiders got from the University of Tennessee, and he loves to play man-to-man defense.
There hadn't been a completion yet. I believe both quarterbacks, Burline and McMahon, are 0 for 3 so far in the first quarter.
Greg Landry, fine quarterback himself, now calling the plays from the sidelines for the Chicago Bears. I remember when he was causing a lot of problems with the Detroit Lions, and there's the fridge, William Perry.
Looks more like a locker, a food locker.
From the shotgun on 2nd and 10. McMahon throws across the middle. And it is incomplete.
Good timing by number 26, Van McElroy, who got there as the ball did, shook it loose from the receiver.
Pass intended for Glenn Kozlowski.
Take a look here, isolated on Kozlowski, coming across the middle, clearing out. Here comes the ball. No way to get to the football. He got to the man just as the ball got there. Here's another look from the back. Some pressure by people up front. McMahon had to step up and unload quickly. Excellent reaction by McElroy to the man.
Now here's a situation where the Raiders, quite frankly, have not been able to succeed so far this preseason, and that is 3rd down situations, putting pressure on and sacking the quarterback. It is 3rd and 10. But they come through this time, and there's a flag downfield. The ball is still loose. The Raiders say they have the ball. And Jerry Seaman says, yes, indeed, Los Angeles has recovered the fumble by Jim McMahon. But once again, there is a flag downfield. It was recovered by Ron Brown, number 64 from USC. Preliminary call is holding against the Raiders. Raiders have failed in throughout the course of the preseason. They succeed for once, and it gets called back for a penalty. 1st down for Chicago. Ball at their own 47-yard line. McMahon going deep. Intended for Dennis Gentry. Dennis McKinnon. Tackle made by Terry McDaniel. A pickup of 45 yards.
That's a great throw by McMahon. You'll see in the replay, he has got 54, Reggie McKenzie, coming late right in his face. Right here. Here comes McKenzie. McMahon looks up. Kaboom.
And it gives the Bears a 1st down inside the Raider 10-yard line.
You know, a lot of long completions. There are 65,000 people in the grandstands that see it, but the quarterback doesn't because he's on his back. Here again, McMahon. He's got time early. Then the Raiders come late with McKenzie. McMahon just stood in there and got it off.
Inside handoff right up the middle. Matt Suey. Suey trying to get to the 6-yard line. Mike Wise, Reggie McKenzie in on the tackle for the Raiders. The Bears are extremely high on their wide receivers, even though they traded Willie Gault to the Raiders. I was talking with McMahon before the game. He told me he's very happy to have the caliber of receiver that he has. There's a perfect example, 45-yard pass to Dennis McKinnon. 2nd and goal, ball at the 6-yard line. McMahon throws. Pass is incomplete, intended for Cap Bozek. Rod Martin defending for the Raiders. So the Bears, who have literally traveled halfway around the world in the last 3 or 4 weeks, going from the training camp to Sweden, coming back to their training camp, going down to Dallas, playing there on Monday, then coming back and playing here.
Number 82, Wendell Davis, has come in. One of the top draft choices of the Bears, and one they're extremely high on, wide receiver from LSU.
From the shotgun at the 6-yard line, 4 wide receivers in for the Bears. Inside handoff. Fumble into the end zone. That was Neil Anderson fumbling into the end zone.
That'll be a touchback. To be Raider ball out on the 20. Remember, if he fumbles it before he breaks the plane, that is before he crosses the goal line, it is not a touchdown. Had the feeling that that
Ball
would be a
was
run.
fumbled into the end zone, recovered by the defensive team. Consequently, touchback. 1st and 10 on the 20.
The hit by Zeph Lee. Now you can read that play. If we could see that from the top, you can read that play coming from up here. They're in the shotgun, and the quarterback is lined up shallower than the tailback so that he can hand the ball to him rather than the running back being lined up in front of him to block. You could see it from up here. It's harder to see down on field level.
After further review by instant replay, the play will stand. 1st down.
And Dennis Price, the rookie from UCLA, came up with the fumble recovery. But the big hit then by Zeph Lee. So the Raiders dodge a bullet. They have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. 7 minutes, 37 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Raiders trail the Bears 2-0. Toss back to Marcus Allen. He gets by Richard Dent. Oh, Allen just really blew by Richard Dent then. Vesti Jackson coming up to bump him out of bounds along with Sean Gale for the Bears.
Let's watch it again. It'll be a pitch. Marcus Allen going left. There's the block on the ground by number 35, Steve Smith, the fullback, which gets him around Dent. Then we run out of field eventually.
That is a pickup of 6 yards, which makes it 2nd and 4.
Allen has carried twice for 11 yards.
This is his 3rd carry. Allen gets up close to the 30-yard line, which will be very close to a 1st down. Tackle made by Sean Gale. And preliminary indications signal that it is enough yardage for the 1st down.
You can see the players and officials out there stamping on the ground every once in a while. That's because of that new turf that will tear up. It's only been in about 10 days. They had to resurface a major portion of the field, which tore up completely in the first preseason game here a few weeks ago.
So after that run by Allen, it gives the Raiders their 2nd 1st down of the game. Los Angeles now with 3 wide receivers. This is a handoff to Steve Smith. Steve Smith picks up about 3 yards before he's tackled by Dante Jones.
Raiders got into that 3 wide receiver set by flanking Marcus Allen. One of the things you get with a back like Marcus Allen, that versatility. He can move out of the backfield, line up as a wide receiver. You don't have to tip it to defense by bringing an extra wide receiver off the bench, which they counter by bringing extra defensive backs in.
2nd and 7. 6 minutes and about 5 seconds left to go in the first period. Borderline goes back short in the pocket, and Steve McMichael, in his 9th year from Texas, makes the sack. Looked like he was looking for Marcus Allen real quick out of the backfield, and Marcus was covered.
You see it here. Watch the surge of the defensive line. Just take everybody back. It's a short set. I thought they had the face mask in there on a quick grab, which is a 5-yard penalty, but in that kind of traffic, if an official misses that one, it's understandable.
There is no gain on the play.
No gain counts as a sack under the scoring statistics.
So it is 3rd and 7. Tim Brown, the Heisman Trophy winner, in now for the Raiders. Down the middle, and it is complete. The pass is complete to Willie Gault, tackled by Dave Durson.
Not enough for the first down.
So it will force the Raiders to punt.
Willie Gault getting a big hand because he played here 5 years for the Chicago Bears, including their World Championship season.
Jeff Gossett back to kick for the Raiders. Eric Starr, a rookie, back to receive for the Bears. Angling away from Starr, ball bounces. Takes a
It hit a bear. It hit a bear.
And the Raiders get it back. Steve Smith comes up with it.
I'm sure they'll take a replay look at that one. And if the ball bounces into somebody in those black jerseys, it's then a free ball that team in white can recover.
The ball was muffed by the receiving team, recovered by the kicking team. First down.
Let's watch it bounce around here. If it hits 90, yep, there it is. It's called a muff. A muff is a ball where you don't have possession and you lose it. You can recover that on the defense. It hit Greg Clark, and then it was recovered, but you can't advance it. The defensive team cannot advance a muff. They could advance it if it was a fumble. That is, if they had possession, then lost the football. He never had possession of the ball. It just touched it.
So the Raiders get a big break, and they have the ball 1st and 10 on the Bear 34-yard line. 4 minutes, 47 seconds left to go in the first period.
After further review by instant replay, it is confirmed. The play will stand. First down.
And the Raiders have the ball, but they are trailing the Bears 2-0. And how many times have we seen a turnover, a big break like that, and immediately the offense tries to go to the air and strike in a hurry? Let's see if the Raiders do it. Burline throws to Steve Smith out of the backfield. Smith picks up enough yardage for the first down, gets down to the 19-yard line. Tackle there made by Sean Gale. So after getting the break, the pickup of 18 yards, the Raiders immediately go to the air, trying to strike in a hurry and pick up enough yardage for the first down.
Steve Smith may look a little quicker to you this year. He's 10 pounds lighter than he was. You're fake to Allen and then quickly unload. Smith out there in the right flat. Steve played at about 235 to 238 last year. He's down to 225 at the weigh-in this week.
1st and 10, ball at the 18-yard line of the Bears. This is Marcus Allen. Allen will lose a yard or two. Knocked out of bounds by Jim Morrissey.
Really, the strength of the Bear defense are those 4 guys up front. That is an outstanding unit. Defensive line probably as good as there is in the National Football League. Very active, very strong, very aggressive, very talented.
And with William Perry losing pounds, still very large up front.
William Perry lost an entire defensive cornerback and you wouldn't even notice it.
4 wide receivers in now for the Raiders. Marcus Allen in motion. Burline across the middle. Complete to Tim Brown. Brown to the 10. Brown to about the 6-yard line before he's knocked out of bounds there by number 22, Dave Durison. So the Raiders coming up with a variation of offensive formations and pick up of 14 yards.
We'll watch it again. Shotgun, all 3 wide receivers on one side, plus Allen in motion. Bring one underneath Tim Brown. Rookie, the first of the Raiders' 3 first-round draft choices this year, picked as a 6th player taken in the entire NFL draft.
Burline is now 3 of 6 for 34 yards. He's hit his last 3. It is 1st and goal. Ball at the 6-yard line for the Raiders. Burline throwing into the end zone, and it is incomplete. Pass intended for Steve Smith.
Always harder for a right-handed quarterback to throw going to his left. Has to kind of be throwing across his body. It's an awkward action.
4 minutes, 14 seconds left to go in the first period. The Raiders trail the Bears 2-0. But head coach Mike Shanahan and his Raider team see a golden opportunity to get on the scoreboard and take the lead.
Art Shell, offensive line coach, there talking to Coach Shanahan.
2nd and goal. The toss to Marcus. Oh, as he hit at the 5 and falls forward to about the 4-yard line. Richard Dent, along with Ron Rivera, in on the tackle.
Well, watch this one again. It's a pitch to the left. Lewis, number 51, out in front. It's the traffic in the back, the pursuit, as Marcus tried to cut it back. Those are the kind you worry about losing a football, when you get hit by somebody that you don't see coming at all.
3rd and goal. Ball at the 4-yard line of the Bears. 4 wide receivers in now for the Raiders from the shotgun. Burline throws incomplete. The nearest Raider receiver is Tim Brown.
We looked up there and we had an offensive lineman standing there, and I'm not sure whether he wasn't confused and was trying to throw it to him. If he could have held the ball a little bit longer, she might have seen a touchdown.
So the Bears hold, and now the Raiders will have to attempt a field goal. Chris Barr comes in.
Punter Jeff Gossett, number 6, is the holder man.
The ball will be spotted at about the 12-yard line, which will make it a field goal of 22 yards. There's a flag on the play. The field goal is good, but there is a flag on the play. And the Raiders are called for holding. So now we will see what the Bears will do.
Holding, number 81 offense, still 4th down.
So the Raiders will be penalized and have to attempt the field goal over. The penalty then was against Andy Parker.
Parker's lined up as a wing on the right-hand side. Sometimes the wing has a man coming to his inside and his outside, and he tries to stretch his shoulder out, but you can't get that arm out there while you're doing it.
The 32-yard field goal attempt is good. So in more like a baseball game, it's the Raiders leading the Chicago Bears with 3:17 left to go in the first quarter, 3-2.
Being Raiders 3, Bears 2. Raider Team Shop at our ticket office in El Segundo is open now from Monday through Fridays, 9 until 6. Saturdays, 9 until 4. We've got a tremendous variety of merchandise, souvenirs, and Raider memorabilia. Come on by and do some shopping.
So Matt Barr, Al, is all set to kick off for the Raiders. Eric Starr and Glenn Kozlowski back to receive for the Bears. This will be Eric Starr at the 5. Starr gets across the 20 to about the 22-yard line, and there's a flag on the play of return of 17 yards. There is, once again, a flag on the play. Tackle made by Andy Parker.
A little pushing and shoving going on upfield, a little hollering from the Bear bench. It's like they called an unnecessary roughness penalty on the Bears. Initially, he signaled the other way.
It appeared to be against Sean Smith, number 97 of the Bears, as he really went after Matt Barr then. We always see how some teams will assign one person to go after the kicker, and that's what the penalty was then.
That's funny. That's not something we see that much anymore. There kind of was a gentleman's agreement among the coaches about 10 or 12 years ago to stop.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 97 receiving team, half the distance to the goal line, 1st down.
Coaches kind of said, if you won't go after my kicker, I'm not going after yours. Every once in a while you get a special team coach who's not real gentlemanly. But, you know, it's one area on your squad where you normally only carry one person, and you can't afford to get your punters or your place kickers hurt.
So it's 1st and 10 for the Bears. Ball at their own 11-yard line. We'll see if that gentleman's agreement is broken the next time once again. Here's a handoff. Right up the middle, Neil Anderson.
Travel arranged through U.S. Air, the airline which gets you
Up of 6 yards on the play, which will make it 2nd and 4. Anderson now has carried the ball 4 times for 15 yards. This is Matt Suey. Suey finds a fine hole, but fumbles the ball. And it looks like the Raiders get it back. Mike Haynes, number 22, gets the fumble recovery. And the Raiders get another break.
McMahon, there's a good hole in there. Good hit by 54 McKenzie. Ball comes out when McElroy gets there. Haynes loses it once, pulls it back underneath, and says, I'm not going to worry about running with it. I want the football. We're down at their end of the field. That's the third turnover.
And that's one thing that really is bugging head coach Mike Ditka, because so far this preseason, the Bears have turned over the ball 10 times before tonight's game and have not forced, I should say, any turnovers of their own.
Right now, that ratio, giving up the ball 13 times on interceptions or fumbles and coming up with no interceptions and no fumble recoveries would bug any coach.
And it's especially uncharacteristic of the Chicago Bears.
Take another look from a different angle. There's Suey coming through. Right in there. The initial hit, still has it, and McElroy pops it. Ball comes out. Now the officials are looking to determine was he down before the ball came out. Now we get a third look, and as you look at these, this is what the official is looking at. That one there, I think, clearly shows the ball coming out before he's down.
Van McElroy, the fine all-pro safety. And there's the booth where the officials are looking at the instant replay.
After further review by instant replay, it is determined the ball was recovered after being fumbled. Los Angeles ball, first down, play will stand.
If TV gives them just one shot, they'll look at the one shot. They may go back and forth a couple times, but when they're given 2 or 3 different shots, it's going to take them a little longer to be sure. They need conclusive evidence before they can overrule the call of the official.
The Raiders get another big break. First a muff on a punt. Now a fumble recovery. 1st and 10. Ball on the 25-yard line of the Bears. Burline, plenty of time. Throws towards the end zone. The pass is caught by James Lofton. And the Raiders have scored.
Beautiful footwork by Lofton to stay in, keep his balance, get to the front of the end zone, get those feet and the ball across the line.
A great individual effort by both Steve Burline and James Lofton. 26 yards for the score.
Burline's got a viewing lane. That's important. He can see downfield. There's nobody between he and the receiver. Outstanding job right there. Lofton does not let the presence of the defensive back hinder him looking the ball, reaching for it, pulling it in, staying in bounds, getting in the end zone.
So James Lofton gets his first touchdown of the preseason. The Raiders now lead 9-2. Oh, what a great effort that was by Burline and Lofton.
After further review by instant replay, it is confirmed, play will stand, touchdown.
Now this is really something new this year, that every time replay is used in that kind of a situation, the officials will mention that it's been reviewed. We didn't do it as often last year, and we want to try and keep it clear for the viewers. There you see he's bought time by moving off. Lofton got that shoulder in front, set up the play, bang, extra point good by Chris Barr.
So with 2 minutes and 8 seconds left to go in the first quarter, after a 26-yard touchdown pass from Steve Burline to James Lofton, the Raiders lead the Bears 10-2. Chris Barr is getting set to kick off for the Raiders. Thomas Sanders and Dennis Gentry back to receive for the Bears.
Now the Raiders and the Bears are at 60 players right now. We'll have to cut to 47 Monday, but 2 of the spots where the Raiders are already down to just 1 person per position. The kickoff and place kicking with Chris Barr, the punting with Jeff Gossett. But both teams will have to trim 247. That cut must be made by 9 o'clock Raider time, LA time, Monday.
And it will be nervous time for a few young men around the National Football League. Barr's kickoff, not very high and deep. Picked up at about the 10-yard line by Thomas Sanders. Sanders gets out to the 20-yard line, and that's where the Bears will take over 1st and 10.
The initial hit by number 20, Chris McLemore.
Chicago's last 3 possessions have not been very good for them.
No, fumble, fumble, fumble. That's where the Raiders have had the opportunity to score.
Jim McMahon still at quarterback for the Bears. Calvin Thomas and Neil Anderson in the backfield. McMahon, no pressure, plenty of time. Chased by Howie Long, throws incomplete. Intended for Calvin Thomas.
The thing about the rush there, though, there wasn't what you'd call pressure, but at one point, McMahon looked up to throw, and at that moment, Howie Long got his hands up in the throwing lane. He had to bring the ball down and drift off, and that destroyed the timing of the pattern for him. So you don't always have to get a sack. If you can interfere with the passer's rhythm, get close to him, force him to move off, force him to lose sight of a receiver, that all helps the defensive secondary do their job.
So Calvin Thomas comes out, and Dennis Gentry lines up in the backfield. The last time he was in, remember, McMahon tried to throw deep to him out of the backfield. 2nd and 10 from the shotgun. McMahon complete to Neil Anderson. Anderson hit by Jerry Robinson, and the crowd is angry because they feel Robinson hit him way out of bounds.
Taking a second look, shotgun to McMahon, quick unload. Raiders only had the 1 linebacker in, the 6 defensive backs dropping off.
Pickup of 9 yards, and it did look like Jerry hit him a little late, but there was no flag thrown.
They're going to bring it in and measure it. For you people who are statistically inclined, if this is a first down on the measurement, it's a 10-yard completion. If it's not, even though it only misses by an inch or 2, it drops back to 9 yards.
So far, this field has held up remarkably well. A couple of weeks ago when they played the Miami Dolphins here, and the teams were on one end, they had like 50 or 60 people doing exactly what you just saw on the other end. So George Toma.
George Toma does an outstanding job.
And has the field in pretty good shape. 3rd and less than a yard. There's a flag on the play.
Looked like Howie Long was offsides again, or encroachment. The field, the grass is considerably higher than you'd like to have it trimmed at this point, but earlier in the week, the park management who were in charge of the stadium here asked George Toma if he'd ask the 2 ball clubs to let them,
Offside, number 75 defense, first down.
to let them raise the grass to 4 or 5 inches and play in sneaks. And he said to the park commissioner, hey, this is not Little League. They did ask the teams to wear half-inch cleats instead of the longer 3/4-inch cleats. Some of the ball players came out and tried different shoes before the ball game, and there was a difference of opinion. I think some are using the 3/4-inch cleats, some are using the shorter ones.
And some of them really don't care about this field, especially the Raiders. I talked to them before the game. They just want to play well and get a victory. There's a handoff right in the middle. Calvin Thomas. Tackle made by Bill Pickel. Pickup of 4 yards.
You know, your big linemen don't worry about the footwear and the field surface nearly as much because they're going to pound the ground down at 280 no matter what the grass is. Here we'll see it. It's a trap. They let 90 Wise come across, bring a lineman from his inside, kind of sneak up on him, pop the ball through there. They get that defensive lineman thinking of coming across the line of scrimmage and slide a blocker over to get it.
Pick up a 4 yards, 2nd and 6. There's a handoff to Neil Anderson. Anderson getting around the right side to about the 45, 46-yard line, and if that is true, it is enough yardage for the first down. Pickup of 8 yards. Tackle made by Lyndon King.
You see McKenzie here, 54, just a hair late right there. Dives, gets tripped up by...
And Anderson's last carry will be the last play of the first quarter. So from Soldier Field, after the first 15 minutes, It's the Los Angeles Raiders leading the Bears 10-2.
The Chargers, then on the 18th, the LA Rams. Tickets are on sale right now at the Raider ticket office. By phone, call for information on season tickets and group tickets at 640-6000. And the ticket office is open 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. Monday through Friday and 9 until 4 on Saturday.
You know, Al, there are a lot of players from the Raiders who are coming back. Either they are from this area or they play their college football in this area. Steve Berline is 90 miles up the road where he played at Notre Dame. And I talked to him before tonight's game to get his impressions on coming back to where he gained so much fame in his collegiate days.
Well, it's about 90 miles down the road, and it's a good feeling coming back. There's going to be a lot of friends here. A few of my coaches, I guess, are going to be in town from Notre Dame, and my girlfriend lives here in Chicago, so that's going to be a lot of fun too. She'll get a chance to see me play, and it's kind of neat feeling back at home here with everybody around. I've seen a lot of friends since I've been here, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
And now there really is nothing like going back home, playing in front of the home folks, and performing well. And that's exactly what Berline has done with that 26-yard touchdown pass to James Lofton. But the Bears have the ball now, 1st and 10. Ball at their own 46-yard line. McMahon handing off right up the middle. The Bears trying to establish their running game, which is something that they told us they were going to try and do at the beginning of the ball game.
Here's the stats for the first quarter. As you can see, the Bears have gained 96 yards. The Raiders 64, but the Raiders got the ball down in close on those turnovers, and you only have to go as far as the distance between the football and the goal line. They don't make you go 90 if you get the ball on the other guy's 10-yard line.
So Calvin Thomas picks up 4 yards on the carry, which makes it 2nd and 6. The ball right at the midfield stripe. Neil Anderson in the backfield. Cap Boza also lined up in the backfield with Calvin Thomas. The toss back to Neil Anderson. Anderson gets to about the 45, 46-yard line before it's tackled by Matt Millen.
Millen came into camp late in the week, and Coach Shanahan, linebacker coaches Charlie Sumner and Sam Gradison said he's ready. We'll get him some action against the Bears. That's getting a piece underneath as Rod Morton, 53, comes up. Mike Shanahan, the Raider head coach, has a test he gives the players to see what kind of condition they're in, where they do 10 times 40-yard sprints, and the average time is compared to their best time of the previous year, and there's a formula used, and that was 92% effective compared to the previous year's best time.
3rd and short, inside handoff to Calvin Thomas. There is a flag on the play. Tackle made by Bill Pickell. And another reason why the Raiders are happy to have Matt Millen back is he brings a certain amount of physical intensity with him.
You know, he's an aggressive player, but he's a spirited kind of aggressiveness. Yeah, and it's infectious. He likes to hit.
Number 75 defense, 1st down.
It's the 3rd time Howie's been offside. You know, Howie is like a coiled spring when he gets into the stance, and sometimes he reacts to any kind of movement in there. The officials are supposed to minimize the amount of movement that can be done by the offensive people, but those quarterbacks get cute the way they move their elbows and shake their head, and bang, he uncoils.
1st and 10. Looks like a little mix-up in the backfield, but McMahon trying to throw. The pass is intercepted by Mike Haynes, but I think Mike's going to be called for pass interference. Mike Haynes was covering Dennis McKinnon. Haynes came up with the interception, but there was a flag thrown immediately.
It'll be interesting to see if we do have a replay, because it didn't look like the receiver had any idea where the ball was. I don't know how you can interfere with somebody who's not trying to make the catch. Here comes McMahon, forced out, just lays it up. And
Pass interference, number 22 defense, 1st down.
good block there by McKenzie on the peelback.
So after the penalty against Mike Haynes, the Bears have the ball 1st and 10 at the Raider 22-yard line. The Raiders lead the Bears 10-2.
The Raiders have taken the ball away from the Bears 3 times on turnovers and have had 2 more turnovers that were negated by penalty calls.
Jim McMahon still at quarterback for the Bears. The toss back to Neil Anderson. The reverse to Dennis McKinnon. McKinnon to the 15. McKinnon inside the 15 to about the 11-yard line. Tackle made by Terry McDaniel. So a little razzle-dazzle by the Bears as they try to catch the Raiders napping. And it almost worked.
There it is. Now watch the handoff right here. Real certainty. Put it out there. Be sure he gets the football. That's more important than faking the people. Right here comes McDaniel blowing across. Bears were hollering for a face mask, but if you saw there, the hand came across, hit him on the side of the helmet. There was no grab of the face mask at all.
Now that is Terry McDaniel, one of the #1 draft choices out of the University of Tennessee that the Raider trainers are looking at. Sammy Seal comes in now.
That's Rod Martin, Rod Martin, the trainer, working there. Dr. Bob Huizinga, Dr. Norm Rotenberg, and the Raiders orthopedic specialist, Dr. Robert Rosenfeld. Really a top medical brain trust. Chicago's got 7 first downs at this point, and 4 of them by penalties. The Raiders have had 6 penalties called against them for 49 yards. Now there is a sartorial splendor. Coach Mike Ditka in a shirt, and I've been trying to read it. It says something like ahoy.
Ships ahoy. You can believe that attire will change next week when the regular season starts. It is 2nd and short. The handoff to Neil Anderson. Anderson gets across the 10 to about the 9-yard line, and it is enough yards for the first down as he picks up 4. Tackle made by Zeph Lee.
A little extracurricular activity going on in there. These are 2 of the more aggressive teams by temperament, training, organizational history there are in professional football. And you know, whenever we get together with the Bears, the blood boils a little bit.
That's Van McElroy and Emery Moorhead. You know, people talk about McElroy has a short fuse. Sometimes I believe he doesn't have a fuse at all. He's just ready to go at any moment.
And he's such a sweet young man off the field.
Somehow they change on game day.
2 children, lovely wife, home in Uvalde, Texas. Father a Baptist minister, but he crosses that sideline, he goes to war.
1st and goal, ball at the 9-yard line of the Raiders. McMahon looking to pass, throws into and out of the hands of Dennis McKinnon. 11.5 minutes left to go in the first half. Neil Anderson, Calvin Thomas in the backfield for the Bears. A handoff to Neil Anderson. He gets away from McElroy, bounces off Mike Haynes, and he scores.
Anderson did a great job of keeping his feet. Looked like Haynes was going to get him for the loss. Bounced off of Haynes, went all the way for the touchdown, 8 yards. Anderson, as you see, 8 carries, 40 yards, and 1 touchdown, averaging 5 yards a carry. He's the man that is taking the spot vacated by the great Walter Payton.
Kevin Butler in now to attempt the extra point with Mike Tomczak holding. And it is good. So after a great individual effort, an 8-yard touchdown run by Neil Anderson, the Bears have cut the Raiders' lead now to 10-9.
Minutes and 45 seconds, with a penalty or 2 being key to keeping possession. Subscribe to the Los Angeles Raiders newspaper. The address is right there on your screen. Originally called the Los Angeles Raiders newspaper.
This is Tim Brown on the kickoff return. Took the ball at the goal line. And Tim Brown gets out to the 17, 18-yard line. That's where the Raiders will take over 1st and 10. So Steve Berline continues to quarterback now for the Raiders here in the first half, as Mike Ditka has to be a little pleased with what he's seen, particularly here in the second quarter, as Neil Anderson just scored on an 8-yard touchdown run. Steve Smith and Marcus Allen in the backfield now for the Raiders. This is Marcus Allen. Allen trying to hurdle over his offensive line, getting to the 20-yard line. Pickup of 3 yards, tackle made by Dave Durson.
Number 74, Jim Lachey, is wearing a visor built into his helmet. A number of the Raiders are doing that. A lot of people around the league who've had fingers stuck in their eyes are wearing these eye shields. Over there you see the offensive line of the Bears with Coach Dick Stanfill.
Allen picks up a couple of yards, which makes it 2nd and 7 after picking up 3. Berline throwing, trying to get to Allen, and it is incomplete. Sean Gale, the nearest defender for the Bears.
Pass rush on that one pressured Berline as he stepped up to throw. There was someone almost hanging on that passing arm. Number 76, Steve McMichael. Vince Tobin, the defensive coordinator for the Bears.
And the big question mark for the Bears, especially for this particular game, is their linebackers, where they are so weak. On 3rd down, 4 wide receivers now in for the Raiders. Berline from the shotgun. Here comes the blitz. Raiders pick it up. Throw. Intended for Todd Christensen, and it is incomplete.
Raiders picked up the blitz perfectly. The Bears brought a linebacker, a safety man, and 4 defensive linemen. The Raiders' 6 blockers picked them up and didn't get the completion.
So that will make it 4th down. Jeff Gossett will come in to punt now for Los Angeles.
Gossett is a graduate of Eastern Illinois, which is the alma mater of new Raider head coach Mike Shanahan.
Good high punt. Eric Starr coming over. Ball bounces. Starr gets it, and he fumbles the ball. Still loose, and it looks like the Raiders get it back. So Eric Starr is not shining very brightly right now as Trey Junkin comes up with the fumble recovery.
Here it is, Starr. Ball bounces. It kind of came right at him, forced him to take it. And he looks upfield to see where the traffic is and forgets the football.
So the Raiders get another break. They have the ball 1st and 10. 10 minutes, 8 seconds left to go in the first half.
Tonight's ball game so far is a classic example of the value of the special teams, how important the kicking phases of the game are.
Berline wants to go to the air. Throws, and the pass is complete. There is a flag on the play. The pass is complete to Willie Gault.
I think it's going to be a holding call. It's one of the Raider offensive blockers. Here we see Tim Brown just using his speed to take the defensive back down the field, turning and coming back toward the football, opening some air between he and the defensive back.
Holding, number 74 offense, still 1st down.
That penalty against Jim Lachey.
Quite a duel going on there between Richard Dent, number 95, the Bears' great right end, a Pro Bowl perennial and a Super Bowl MVP as a defensive player, and Jim Lachey, the new left tackle of the Raiders, acquired from the San Diego Chargers just a few weeks ago in a big trade.
From the 46, 1st and 20. Screen to Marcus. He has running room. Gets away from Mike Richardson. Gets a great block from James Lofton. Marcus still on his feet. Down to the 10, inside to the 9-yard line. Beautiful run by Marcus Allen, finally tackled by Sean Gale. Pick up of 45 yards.
Dan almost got there on that one. It was a beautiful call by Coach Shanahan, utilizing the fact that the Bears were going to tee off and come in the pass rush, create a situation where they didn't feel the screens. Beautiful job downfield by Marcus Allen of using the blockers, using his ability. one of the great players in the National Football League today, Marcus Allen.
And you get the feeling in talking to Marcus and watching him that he's going to have a great season this year. Berline now 5 of 12 for 105 yards and 1 touchdown. This is Marcus again. Picks up a couple of yards at the most to about the 7-yard line, tackled by Dante Jones.
This is a new offensive line alignment this week for the Raiders. And speaking of our offensive line, condolences from everyone in the Raider organization to Coach Alex Gibbs, assistant head coach, and who specializes in working with our line and our offense. His wife passed away earlier this week. She had been in critical condition for a number of months as a result of an automobile accident. Coach Gibbs
That is Los Angeles first timeout.
Is not here this week. We all wish him well. Score now, Raiders 10, Chicago 9, with the Raiders driving, 8:14 left in the second quarter.
So behind that brilliant run by Marcus Allen, the Raiders are threatening to score again. 2nd and goal, ball at the 7-yard line of the Bears. The refrigerator seeing if he can freeze out this Raider drive. Berline throws into and out of the hands of James Lofton, who should have had it, and if he did, he would have had a score. Festy Jackson defending for the Bears.
Berline stood in there well, got outstanding protection from that reorganized front line with Mosbar at right tackle, Wilkerson at right guard, Lewis at center, Hanna at left guard, and Lachey at left tackle.
8 minutes, 8 seconds left to go in the first half. It is 3rd and goal. Ball at the 7-yard line of the Bears from the shotgun. Berline throws. The pass is incomplete. Intended for Willie Galt. Reggie Phillips defending.
I think Reggie got a hand in over the top on that one. Berline was forced on low. The Bears blitzed. That's a situation where the Bears like to bring extra people. They want to force you into a quick play, force you into a mistake. You know, one thing when you look at Perry going off, there's so much talk about his size that people sometimes overlook the fact he is an outstanding football player.
He certainly is. This is Chris Barr attempting a field goal of 25 yards. There's a flag on the play. The field goal attempt is good, but there is a flag on the play. Holding again against the Raiders.
Before they go in the league season.
So this will be a 35-yard field goal attempt. And again, it is good.
That kick wasn't as pretty, but it's still 3 points.
So Chris Barr has connected from 32 yards and 35 yards. The Raiders now lead the Bears 13-9. Glenn Kozlowski has just returned the kickoff 40 yards to give the Bears excellent field position after the kickoff.
We missed that one, so we'll give you a second look. Here's Kozlowski, 88, former wide receiver from Brigham Young University. Going up the left side, he got that good running start, pops it up in there, a couple of hand tackles. Number 20, Chris McLemore, and number 10, Chris Barr making the tackle.
7:38 left to go in the first half. 1st and 10 for the Bears at their own 48-yard line. The Bears trail the Raiders 13-9. McMahon still at quarterback. Dumps it off to Thomas Sanders. Better watch him because he has plenty of speed. Sanders tackled by Matt Miller. Sanders last week against, or rather not last week, but on Monday night had an 86-yard touchdown pass out of the backfield against the Dallas Cowboys, so he can really move.
See it here. This is an outlet receiver. McMahon wants to go deep, wants to go downfield. Everybody's covered. Has enough time to dump the ball off. Millen makes the grab. I watched a little flourish at the end there. It's kind of a Millen trademark. Give him a little extra pull or push on your way up.
Less than 7 minutes to go, 2nd and 2. Calvin Thomas. Thomas picks up enough yards for the first down, getting inside the 40-yard line. So the Bears now trying to get a little momentum coming after that 40-yard kickoff return by Glenn Kozlowski.
Matt Millen's playing inside linebacker along with Jerry Robinson. McKenzie, number 54, has moved outside now, the left spot where Lyndon King started the game.
Reggie Morris and Wendell Davis, the wide receivers now for the Bears. Quick pass to Davis. Davis got brought down by Van McElroy. Wendell Davis, the number 1 pick from LSU, and Jim McMahon was telling me earlier today that they have got to find a place for this young man to play because he's terrific. Pick up a 17 yards.
Very quick throw. McElroy heading up, but never quite got up there. 36, McDaniels making the tackle. That's the way the defense the Raiders were in. If McMahon can't get it off quickly, McElroy might be sailing away with an interception. Didn't get up there quite in time.
McMahon now 4 of 11 for 79 yards. Hand off to Thomas. There's a flag on the play. Thomas gets to about the 18-yard line before he's tackled there by Jerry Robinson. Preliminary call is against Los Angeles.
Face mask, 5-yard penalty only. Number 55 defense. It'll be second down. First down.
Right here.
First down, repeat the down.
Matt Millen has his hand on the mask, pulls it off. That's the difference between the 5 and the 15-yard penalty. If you get your hand on there and don't really use the mask for leverage and get your hand off, it's a 5-yard penalty. If you leave your hand on there and use it to pull the man down in potentially injurious situation, then they throw the 15-yard call at you.
So it is first down and less than 1 yard.
With so many of the penalty calls, they are there for the safety of the players. That's a prime concern. That's why clipping today's ball game.
And like you said, this is preseason for everyone. McMahon going into the end zone, intended for Ron Morris. It is incomplete, but there's a flag on the play.
Why not? There's been a flag on every play.
Terry McDaniel, the rookie from Tennessee, defending.
Illegal hands to the face. Number 78 offense. Holding. Number 36 defense. Offsetting penalties.
Keith Van Horn, the number 1 pick from the University of Southern California. Four minutes and 41 seconds left to go in the first half.
Those initials you see on the sleeve of all the jerseys of the Bears, George S. Hallis, in memory of the founder of the National Football League and the Chicago Bears, who died a few years ago.
Hand off to Calvin Thomas. Fumbles the ball. Ball still loose, still squirting around.
See what happened? One of them tried to pick it up and run. At that end of the field in particular, possession is more important than position. Get the football.
And Eddie Anderson finally ends up with it for the Raiders.
Take a long look at this one because that ball's bouncing around a while. He's got it on his hip. Robinson spins him around. Looked like McDaniel reached in there and sprung the ball loose. Now right here, McKenzie goes to pick it up at the same time. McElroy's trying to scoop it in. Ball comes back loose. Good aggressive job by Mike Haynes, frees it. Eddie Anderson wraps it up. Wrap it up, Eddie. That's it.
And so once again, the Raiders are beneficiaries of a mistake by the Bears. They've had half as many mistakes tonight as they've had throughout the course of 3 preseason games. And it's 15.
And they lost the ball 2 other times where they got it back because of penalties against the Raiders.
This is Marcus Allen. Allen getting out to about the 7-yard line.
Marcus did an outstanding job. The hole was inside. It was sealed, slid to the outside, bounced it out, as we call it, found a little daylight, got it upfield.
Allen now has carried the ball 8 times for 26 yards. But don't forget that 45-yard screen play.
Right, once he catches one of those screens behind the line, it really is a running play, but where you've got a start into the open field. Statistically, it counts as a pass reception.
2nd and 4. Flags again. Look like a little motion as far as the Raiders are concerned, as Marcus is wrapped up by William Perry.
And the right side of the line may have jumped just a little early.
False start prior to the snap. Number 78 offense.
Can't be 78 offense.
That's right. I remember playing what they would call a penalty against a number, against someone who wasn't on your roster, and they really give it to you on the sideline.
False start prior to the snap. The right tackle, still 2nd down.
The right tackle is 72, not 78. Don Mosbar, who moved out to tackle earlier this week, has practiced there all week, but this is his first game experience at any spot of center for a number of years. He was an outside offensive lineman, a tackle and a guard during his career at USC, then a first-round pick of the Raiders.
3:40 left to go in the first half. 2nd and 9. Burline from his end zone. Throws. The pass is complete. That's Marcus Allen again. Allen getting out to about the 10-yard line. Tackle made by Mike Richardson.
There's a replay. Marcus out of the backfield, breaks to the sideline, one-on-one with a linebacker right there. Stepped out. Good call by the official.
Number 60 is eligible. Number 60 is eligible.
Raiders have gone to an extra tight end and put 60, Rory Graves, a tackle from Ohio State, into the tight end position. He has to report to the officials. The officials then tell the defensive team somebody with an ineligible number is now in an eligible position and has become an eligible pass receiver.
On 3rd down. This is Marcus. Pops loose, gets enough yardage for the first down, getting out to the 20-yard line. Tackle made by Vesti Jackson. A little more than 3 minutes to go in the first half.
The second look, Steve Smith leading. Marcus Allen taking advantage of the block, staying on his feet, staying up, getting the first down, and just getting everything he can. Marcus Allen weighs about 207 right now. And he's got outstanding strength both in the lower body and up through his shoulders.
Allen now, 9 carries for 35 yards. Burline throws out of the backfield, intended for Marcus, but it is too long and incomplete. Jim Morrissey defending for the Bears.
Allen was the Raiders' leading receiver last year. There's Nick Nicolau, one of the new members of the coaching staff, came from the Denver Broncos with Mike Shanahan. Mike Shanahan talking on the phone to quarterback coach Tom Walsh and backfield coach Joe Scannella, who were up in the press box at the level we are, with a much better view than coaches have on the sideline.
2nd and 10 from the shotgun. Hand off to Marcus Allen. He's tackled for a loss by Richard Dent. The Bears call timeout, and Richard, the All-Pro Dent, wasn't fooled at all.
Play took a long time to develop. And Dent with that gets enough penetration to see it coming toward him. Nobody gets good position to block him. Turns
That is Chicago's first timeout.
Say it.
Please reset the stadium clock to
Hannah.
2:25. Please reset the stadium clock to 2:25.
Putting 9 seconds back on the clock because the Bears
Please
called
reset
timeout.
the stadium clock to 2:25.
To get a real inside look at your Los Angeles Raiders, you can subscribe to the new Los Angeles Raiders newspaper. 20 issues at $28, and the mailing address is on the screen. The Raider newspaper comes out twice each month during the season and once a month in the off season. It's 20 issues for $28.
So now the Raiders are in one of the situations where they have not been successful tonight. That is on third down conversions where they are only 1 of 6. You know, sitting and looking at Richard Dent, you know, people talk about the thinness of the linebacking core for the Chicago Bears because of injury, but it's those guys up front that will really ease the pressure on the linebackers, because if you get all pro performances from Dent and then from Hampton and Steve McMichael and William Perry, it'll make the linebacking job a lot easier for the people that have to fill in.
And you get so many defensive situations today where there's only one linebacker in the game, like then, where they have 6 defensive backs, 4 defensive linemen. So you go with the areas you have the extra quality personnel and pull people out from the areas you feel you're slightly thin.
3rd and 19 from the shotgun. Pups, he goes for James Lofton. And it is ruled incomplete.
No, he caught that one.
The pass is ruled incomplete.
He juggled the ball, but I thought the ball never went to the ground. Let's see if we have a look. You see, he juggles the ball, but I think he still may have had his hands under it. We'll need a better angle than that.
The pass is ruled incomplete. Pass is ruled incomplete.
Yep, went to the ground. Good call. That was a big play because it would have been a first down at midfield and enabled the Raiders to run out the clock or to pursue getting in close for a field goal and not leave the Bears a lot of time, or go for the score and not leave the Bears a lot of time.
And so on that incompleted pass to James Lofton, there are 2 minutes left to go in the first half. 2 minutes left to go with the Raiders leading the Bears 13-9. Okay. Bill Davis is back to receive the punt of Jeff Gossett. Jeff will hit it from about his own 1. Almost gets it blocked. This is the rookie at the 44.
Can't give him the sideline.
He's forced out of bounds by Andy Parker.
Chris Woods down in the coverage. Let him get to the outside. You've got to force him up inside, square up with him, keep him in front of you.
Punt of 45 yards and a return of 17.
So that nets out at just 28 yards off of an excellent punt. Big rush put on Gossett. He got the ball away quickly under pressure at good height. It's hard to cover from down near your own end zone because you're holding the people in for maximum protection.
So the Bears have the ball at the Raider 45-yard line. Jim McMahon at quarterback. Neil Anderson in the backfield from the shotgun. Handoff to Anderson. Good play. Good run by Anderson. 35. Grabbed by Mike Haynes and forced out of bounds. So the Bears fooled everyone then when the Raiders thought that they probably would pass and came up with the run.
You'll see it from the secondary right where the Raiders saw it. Trap block, Howie Long up the field, trapped him. Excellent block on Jerry Robinson. McElroy cutting across. Here comes Haynes to stop it. Good tackle up high by Haynes. What he was trying to do was keep the ball carrier in bounds and keep the clock running, make them use a timeout.
I'll say that was a good tackle. That was up around his throat. Anderson now has carried the ball 9 times for 49 yards, and as you can see, inches short of the first down. A minute 42 left to go in the first half.
We now have a set of markers on both sides of the field in the National Football League, but the chains are only on one side. The set on the second side is to make it a little easier for the players to see where they have to get to make the first down, and for the fans to be right on top of the situation. Timeouts remaining for the two teams, 2 each. We've already gone by the 2-minute timeout, so 2 left for the Bears, 2 left for the Raiders.
There are 6 defensive backs in now for the Raiders, 4 wide receivers for the Bears. This is an official timeout on the field.
Sure what they're replaying.
Because they just measured to see if it was a first. But from the shotgun anyway. McMahon dumps it out to Anderson. Anderson's going to try and get out of bounds, and he does. Forced out there by Sammy Seal. And that will be enough yardage for the first down. 1:36 left to go in the first half.
Bears still have 2 timeouts left. Plenty of time.
And especially when you have a crusty veteran like a Jim McMahon who can really use the 2-minute period along with 2 timeouts left. 4 wide receivers now for the Bears. Still 6 defensive backs for the Raiders. McMahon throws, and it's complete to Dennis McKinnon. McKinnon still on his feet. Down by Dennis Price. Pickup of 13 yards. The Bears in their hurry-up offense. 1:19 left to go in the first half. Again from the shotgun. McMahon throws. Complete again. Tackle made by Sammy Seal.
Bears will probably use a timeout here to get it organized.
Dennis Gentry making the reception then.
That is Chicago's second timeout. That'll be a 40-second timeout.
Official just said a 40-second timeout in an effort to compact the game back into a 3-hour format. Once we get inside the final 2 minutes of either half, if all the timeouts that the TV people need for their commercials, that is 8, have been taken, then subsequent timeouts are 40 seconds instead of 1 minute and 30 seconds. That's defensive line coach Earl Leggett. They're talking with Mike Shanahan, Bill Pickell, kind of between little Mike and Big Earl. John Dunn, the Raiders strength coach, also there on the sideline.
Dennis Gentry, who made the last reception.
Man is 7 of 14 now for 106 yards. He's completed 6 of his last 7 for 61 yards. Both quarterbacks kind of got hot after initial period of 0 for 3 for both of them.
Gentry has 1 touchdown reception already this preseason. The Bears now still have 4 wide receivers in the game. On first down from the shotgun again. McMahon throws. Out of the backfield is Neil Anderson, tackled by Jerry Robinson. Pickup of about 5 yards. So McMahon using this 2-minute offense really to perfection. The ball is officially marked now just inside the 5 at about the 4.5-yard line. The Bears trail the Raiders 13-9. 1:02 left to go in the first half. Again, 4 wide receivers from the shotgun. Into the end zone is a pass into and out of the hands of Dennis McKinnon. Dennis Price, who has a fumble recovery already this evening, was defending for Los Angeles.
Man passing out of the shotgun has time and has a throwing lane. That is, he can see, step up, nobody hindering him around the arms or no one between he and the intended receiver from a vision standpoint. That's an ideal situation for a quarterback. This is McMahon's 7th year in the league, so he's been through this a lot of times.
On third down. Once again from the shotgun is McMahon. Throws. Dennis Gentry claims he was held, and there is a flag on the play.
Gotta love the late ones.
Dennis Gentry was in the end zone, jumping up and down, hollering and screaming, now pointing to his jersey, saying, hey, look, this is where they were pulling me. And there were 2 flags thrown.
Holding prior to the pass in the end zone. It'll be a 5-yard penalty, which will actually be half the distance to the goal line. It'll be a first down.
Sunday, you want to have curtailed the mistakes.
First down and goal, ball at the 2-yard line. McMahon throws, complete, touchdown, Neil Anderson.
Well, there was a pickoff. Unfortunately, officials don't call it. We don't get a replay, but outside receiver came in, blocked the linebacker who was trying to go out and cover. Let's see if we can pick it up. Beat to the right-hand side of the screen. There you see the guy came in, blocked on a man who was supposed to go out and cover him in the flat, and that's how he's wide open.
And so Kevin Butler is in now with Mike Tomczak holding to attempt the extra point conversion. And it is good.
No good.
It's no good? They marked it no good. One official said it was good. Now they say no good.
Raiders had a lot of pressure up inside on that one. And the kicker tried to get under it and get it over those hands, and off it went.
Yeah, one official first indicated that it was good, and the other 2 officials says is it no good. So Neil Anderson has 2 touchdowns tonight.
So we'll take a look. Maybe we can see the pressure from the inside. I can't really do it. You see, there were people getting in the way. They had to kick it up over.
So Neil Anderson, 1 touchdown running, 1 touchdown on a pass reception. 47 seconds left to go in the first half. And the Bears.
Butler looks like he wants to check his contract. Somebody ran into him after the kick. Nobody called it because if they had been blocked into him, that's permissible. Some of these place kickers feel if there's any contact made, they should file an arbitration grievance. Yeah, no doubt about it. Good call by the official. It was the block by the Bear that knocked Sammy Seal into the kicker, and that takes off any opportunity for a penalty to be called.
So the Bears have retaken the lead at 15-13. And Kevin Butler is still rubbing his left side just a little bit.
Scoring drive by the Bears, 7 plays, 45 yards. It only took 103. A couple of penalties that helped on that one. They were in the shotgun most of the time. Quick plays. It was a good display of offense by Jim McMahon. Outstanding pass protection by the Bears front line.
Chris Woods and Tim Brown, squib kick. This is Tim Brown at the 10-yard line. Good moves by Tim, getting back to the 33, 34-yard line. 40 seconds left to go in the first half.
That one only took 7 seconds because on a kickoff return in the final 2 minutes of either half, the clock does not start until the ball's been touched by a member of the receiving team.
Return of 24 yards, so Steve Berline comes back into quarterback for the Raiders. His receivers are Willie Galt, James Lofton, Steve Smith, and Marcus Allen in the backfield. Todd Christensen is the tight end. Berline from the shotgun. William Perry just ran over his blocker. Here's a screen pass to Marcus again. Marcus getting out to the 45-46. There's a flag on the play. Jim Morrissey in on the tackle. Pickup of 11 yards. Oh, did you see William Perry just run over the offensive blocker there? My goodness. That was Jim Lachey.
Let's watch it again, then it'll be up on the top side. It was Mosbar that he ran over.
Illegal block during the run after the reception. Number 35 offense, still first down.
I'm not sure about that call. Looked like the guy had gone to the ground, and then Smith kind of landed up over the top of him, but we didn't see what happened prior to that point.
And Lachey came over. Looked like Lachey came over and tried to pat Mosbar to try to keep his spirits going, because Mosbar, as you mentioned, moving back to the tackle position. 31 seconds left to go in the first half. From the shotgun again. Burline to Todd Christensen. Makes a remarkable catch. Immediately calls timeout as he gets the ball to the Bear 39-yard line, pickup of 25 yards. Great catch by Christensen.
That is Los Angeles' second timeout. That'll be a 40-second timeout.
Raiders have one timeout left, 22 seconds left. Burline has, again, that vision lane where you can see where you want to throw the ball. Just makes life easier for quarterbacks. Christensen goes up, brings the ball down in the middle, and hangs on to it. That's one where you bring it down and surround the ball as you go to the ground. It's really important for a quarterback at any size. Burline is around 6'2", to be able to see between people. It's hard to see over defensive linemen when they average 6'5", 6'6", 6'7" in this league. Your blocking is set up to give you some viewing lanes between people. Sometimes quarterbacks will drift off right or left to be able to see better. Burline on the sideline, been talking to Nick Nicolau and head coach Mike Shanahan. Great experience for a young quarterback, and he was a rookie a year ago, but Burline, that is, and spent the entire year on injured reserve, so this is his first playing time, really, to get these kind of situations that you can't create or imitate in practice.
And the situation is 1st and 10. Ball on the Bear 39 from the shotgun. Burline throws complete to Marcus Allen. Marcus picks up enough yardage for the first down and gets out of bounds. Pickup then of 12 yards. So Steve Burline showing out that he too has a pretty good hold on the 2-minute offense.
Well, you know, you practice this and you practice this and you practice this. But we don't have lights this way in the practice field. There aren't 60,000 people there. There aren't officials. The guys on the other side of the football are your teammates. And you work in practice to be able to handle these situations, but it's game experience that really enables you to grow with these.
Chris Farr standing on the sidelines, hoping to get a field goal attempt in before the end of the first half. Burline again. Complete to Christensen. There's a flag on the play, and Christensen is drug out of bounds at about the 15-yard line of the Bears. Drug out there by Maurice Douglas.
Looks like the penalty is going to be called against the Raiders. I think the Raiders have now gotten more than 100 yards in penalties in the first half of the ball game. See, that's one Ty Christensen certainly doesn't agree with.
Pass interference. Number 46 offense, still first down.
And that's why.
Probably calling for some form of pushing off. It's up to the defender in the first 5 yards to get his hands on you and shove you around as long as you're in front of him or alongside of him. As you get downfield and go to make your breaks as a receiver, you can't shove that defender back in order to get the room to make your maneuver.
So it's 1st and 20. 10 seconds left to go in the first half. Burline, complete to Christensen again. And the Raiders immediately call timeout with 3 seconds left to go.
Well, watch this one again. Christensen working from the up stance.
That is
good
Los
spin
Angeles.
Move off the linebacker. There you see the little shove, but that's not excessive.
That will be a 40-second timeout. That will be a 40-second timeout.
When you're being crowded that way by the defensive back, you can make a little bit of contact in order to clear into an area, but you can't grab him and throw him aside or get your arms extended and shove him so that you have forced your way, that you've backed him up to where he can't cover you.
So now Chris Farr comes in to attempt the field goal. Jeff Gossett will hold.
In case you're curious, Gossett was a quarterback as well in college. And while most teams will use a quarterback to be a holder, the Raiders could still, at some point in the year, throw off of this situation because Gossett has a good passing touch and works at that a little bit each week in practice.
The ball will be spotted at the 31, so this will be an attempt of 41 yards. Hits the upright and is good. And that is the end of the first half. A 41-yard field goal by Chris Barr. And the Raiders come back to take a 1-point, 16-15 halftime lead here at the final preseason game for both teams at Soldier Field in Chicago.
I think the key to that was an excellent job by Steve Berline leading his team down to take the lead 16-15 at halftime. Because of penalty calls. The Raiders have been penalized 13 times for 100 yards in the first half.
Chris Barr kicking off. This is Dennis Gentry at the 3-yard line. Gentry gets to the 22-yard line, and that's where the Bears will take over 1st and 10 as Jim McMahon comes back in to start the second half. I talked to Jim earlier today after the return of 20 yards. I said, I understand you're going to play maybe 2.5 to 3 quarters. He said, I only want to play one half so I can eat some chicken at halftime.
You can see for the most part the Raiders have the first unit in spots. We're in the final preseason game, and some of the regulars will play 3 quarters. There may be some of the young regulars play even longer than that.
Matt Suey in the backfield. It's a handoff. Thomas Sanders.
Excellent penetration by number 54. Reggie McKenzie. Reggie's back playing the outside spot now. Lyndon King's had a muscle pull and got a quarter of work in. And the Raider coaches, linebacker coaches Sam Granise and Charlie Sumner, with the direction of head coach Mike Shanahan, not wanting to extend anybody who's got a slight injury with the opener just 9 days away. Lionel Washington and Malcolm Taylor, 2 other defenders being held out of the game.
It's a loss of 2 yards on the play, makes it 2nd and 12 from the shotgun now. McMahon throws, and the pass is complete. Wendell Davis. Number 1 draft choice from LA. Really likes, and he says they have to find a place for him on this team, and he has to see a lot of action. 1st and 10. It's Matt Suey. Suey across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Matt Millen in on the tackle for the Raiders.
Some of the defensive changes for the Raiders. Mitch Willis, number 98, is in there playing the middle guard spot. Scott Davis, number 70, is at the right defensive end spot. Russell Carter, number 29, is at strong safety. Number 33, Eddie Anderson, is at the free safety.
And you just saw number 62, Mark Bortz, coming off the field. It looked like he was holding his right shoulder. He's a starting lineman for the Bears, so they will try and see if they can get that injury solved in a hurry. McMahon guiding directions on the field, moving Ron Morris out a little wider. Throws. And it's ruled down. That's Eddie Anderson. Eddie Anderson's been very, very lively this evening here in Chicago.
Let's see if it's down if he went to the ground as a result of contact by another team's player.
Well, that's a great play on Eddie Anderson's part.
I'm not sure if I'd call it that way. Great interception in any case. But Anderson alertly, you get up and you go, and then you let the official straighten it out afterwards.
The ball was intercepted. The runner was down by contact. 1st down.
That's the 6th turnover.
So Eddie Anderson from Fort Valley State making his presence felt here this evening and making a strong bid to make this Raider football team.
Jerry McDaniel covering him deep. Coming up to see if he can help.
So the Raiders have the ball now 1st and 10 after that fine interception by Eddie Anderson. There's a timeout on the field.
Right, they're taking a look at the replay. Now this year, the official with a white hat, all used to be that the referee had the black hat and everybody else had the white hat. For some reason this year, the National Football League made this major change. White hat, referee, black hat and stripes, the other 6 officials.
After further review by instant replay, it is confirmed the runner was down by contact after the interception. Play will stand. First down.
So yet another turnover.
Remember, to make the change, it would have to be conclusive evidence the other way. So to me, sometimes when they say confirm, they really ought to be saying, we're not sure, so it has to stand.
So Steve Berline is at quarterback. Steve Smith. Marcus Allen in the backfield. That's James Lofton in motion. Berline to Marcus, who bobbled it but still managed to hang on. Tackle made by Jim Morrissey.
It's the 4th reception for Marcus Allen so far this game. Marcus has 67 yards in receptions.
Marcus coming
Here's
in.
another look at the interception. Great play by Anderson. The official says he went to the ground as a result of contact with the bear. That stops the play.
Marcus coming into tonight's game, the leading receiver for the Raiders, and shows why. Another pass, this one complete to Willie Gault. Sean Gale in on the tackle, so Willie Gault picks up 16 yards on that pass play. The Raiders are coming out moving and moving in a hurry. As both teams continue to use in the final preseason game in the 3rd quarter their frontline players, and the Raiders are trying to get on the scoreboard again. Toss back to Marcus. Good defensive effort then. Jim Morrissey filling in for the injured Otis Wilson.
It's like Morrissey caught the knees in his ribs, and he feels that one. He rode over the top of the block by 35 Steve Smith. See it here, he's on the outside, 51, plays off the block there, stays up, kind of lays himself out. Great effort. Steve Berline right now is 11 for 22 passing for 184 yards. His best preseason performance in 1988.
Berline now, Al in the shotgun. It is 2nd and 15. Berline throws, intended for Ty Christensen. What a great one-handed catch. Oh, the All-Pro showed why he has that honor. Sean Gale in on the tackle for the Bears. Pick up again of 15 yards.
Christensen looks a little woozy on that one. Did a great job of turning on the ball. That is reaching back, turning his body. Don't just reach back with your hand. Try to get your body turned to have something to grab the ball against. Here in the shotgun, Berline. 73 Hanna up front, 51 Lewis. Down the middle. See that? Reach behind, pull the ball into your body. Don't try and hang on it with just your hand. Get it into your body.
1st and goal from the 7-yard line. Berline bobbles the ball from center, and he recovers his own fumble. He had a little weight on him then.
You could see that he felt that.
As William Perry fell on.
Which way did he go?
William Perry, who according to some teammates say at one time throughout the course of the preseason, they thought he was up to about 400 pounds. He's lost quite a bit now. 4 wide receivers in now for the Raiders from the shotgun. Berline throws way over Willie Gault's head, but there is a flag on the play.
Looked like Clark, 98, holding on Todd Christensen in the middle.
The preliminary call, you're right, Al. is holding against the Bears. And Mike
Ditka will put about
Holding, number 98 defense, first down.
Mike Ditka will put about 40 to 50 miles a game on chewing that gum. You see it here, Christensen coming down, breaks to the inside, and the guy's holding him. He can't do that after 5 yards downfield. He can't get in there and be bumping him and preventing him from getting to the inside. He can do it by keeping his body in there with some space between them, but he can't be bumping him.
The handoff to Marcus Allen. Allen gets to the 8-yard line, and that's going to be it. Just about back to the line of scrimmage where Sean Gale comes up to make the tackle. And here's a guy who a lot of people think may be the next person to take over as quarterback for the Bears. There's so much talk about Jim Harbaugh, their #1 draft choice from Michigan a couple of years ago. But when you look at Mike Tomczak in action, a lot of people are starting to feel that he just may be the man to succeed Jim McMahon.
I think McMahon's got a couple of years left. He's not going to voluntarily give up anything.
No way, that's for sure. 2nd and goal, ball at the 7. Burline throwing, trying to get to Lofton, but there is a flag on the play.
There's a fade pattern, and they wouldn't let him off the line.
Vesty Jackson was defending for the Bears.
Pass interference, number 24 defense, first down.
The difference between pass interference and the holding in that situation, holding would be 5 yards or half the distance to the goal
60
line.
is eligible. Number
Pass
60
interference.
is eligible.
You get the ball down there on the 1-yard line. Burline setting up, and it's just a quick, what we call a fade pattern. And they're manhandling Lofton while the ball's in the air. Can't do it.
So Rory Graves comes in and lines up at one of the tight ends. 1st and goal for the Raiders. Steve Smith. And he's in for the score. Behind some fine blocking by his offensive line, Steve Smith goes in from just about a yard out and gets his 3rd touchdown of the preseason.
Smith, another one of the pro sophomore class for the Raiders. 3rd round draft choice a year ago out of Penn State, but only played a few games before he went down with a knee injury.
Chris Barr in to attempt the extra point conversion. And it is good. So with 8 minutes and 22 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter, it's the Raiders on top of the Bears. 23-50 kickoff for the Raiders.
Here's a report that we got from the Raider bench funneled to us from promotions director Mike Ornstein and Irv Kays, senior administrator. Norwood Van, one of the Raider linebackers, will be out the remainder of the ball game. He has a slight concussion, nothing for his family to worry about, but for safety's sake, doctors are not going to have him back yet.
This is Eric Starr, who has 1 fumble on a punt tonight. He has this kickoff return. Eric over the 25 to about the 30-yard line. The Bears will take over 1st and 10 as Jim McMahon comes back in. Return of 26 yards. As soon as we get an injury report, we will pass it along to you. 1st and 10. Jim McMahon at quarterback. Play action pass. McMahon. Good defense in by the Raiders. Russell Carter.
Carter was a 1st-round draft choice of the New York Jets about 4 years ago out of SMU, and Jets kind of soured on him, made him available this year. Raiders made a trade for an undisclosed future draft choice and brought him in. He has worked at both corner and safety during his pro
91
career.
is eligible. 91 is an eligible receiver.
And there's tremendous value with a limited 47-man roster in players who can do more than one thing.
Logie McGee is number 91, who has been ruled eligible. 6 defensive backs there now for the Raiders. It's an inside handoff. Thomas Sanders. He's got good speed, but he can't get away from Sammy Seal.
Good job by Seal and not letting him get to the outside.
little less than 8 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Pickup of 7 yards, which will make it 3rd and 3.
Sanders is replacing the artificial turf with grass is kind of slowing everybody down just a step.
On 3rd down from the shotgun. Across the middle. The pass is incomplete, intended there for Glenn Kozlowski. Russell Carter again defending for the Raiders. So it will be 4th down now for the Bears. And he will be punting to the ever dangerous Tim Brown. Not a very good punt at all, but it takes a Bear bounce.
Definitely just too close to the ball. You got to get away from the ball. Don't turn your back on it because you don't know how it's going to bounce. Get away from the ball.
A punt of 39 yards with no return. 7 minutes, 40 seconds left to go in the third quarter. The Raiders lead the Bears 23-15. We are back live at Soldier Field in Chicago, where the Raiders lead the Bears 23-15. Steve Berline continuing the quarterback for the Raiders.
So far in the ball game, Berline has completed 12 of 23 pass attempts for 199 yards and 1 touchdown. He's 3 for 3 for 35 yards in the second half.
And he has Willie Gault, Todd Christensen, James Lofton, his receiver, Steve Smith, Marcus Allen, the running backs. A toss back to Marcus. Good stutter step right at the line of scrimmage. The ball pops loose. And the Raiders recover. That's Bill Lewis after a pickup of 9 yards.
Marcus holding his left arm on that one. Now walking to the sideline.
Now Marcus has gone to the sidelines. As you mentioned, Al, it looked like he was holding his left arm or left hand.
Allen
something on the left side.
Leaves the game with 13 carries, 32 yards rushing, 4 receptions for 67 yards, 99 yards in total offense.
Vance Mueller comes in to replace Marcus Allen. He is set in the slot. Berline going for Willie Gault, and it is incomplete. Vesti Jackson defending. You know, it was kind of strange this morning. I was reading the paper, and Vesti and some of his other defensive back row mates from the Bears are talking about they'd like to give Willie Gault a rude welcome home. Well, we talked to Willie about that just moments before the game.
Well, I think the media probably invoked him in saying that, but you know, football is a game. It's a game of emotions. It's a game of toughness. So you have to go out and play. I'm not worried about that. Just go out and play my best, and hopefully get better as a player and get better as a team, and look forward to next week's opener.
Willie Gault has 2 receptions for 21 yards. It is 3rd and 1. Ball at the 37. Berline back to pass. Marcus Allen back in the game, makes the reception. Allen gets enough yardage for the first down as he gets up to the 48-yard line, tackled by Greg Clark. Pickup of 11 yards. So that answers your question, is Marcus all right?
Marcus has now caught 5 passes for 78 yards. He told me at the end of the off-season camp program, when we finished the mini camp in June, that with Coach Shanahan's system, Marcus, felt I can catch 100 passes this year. There has never been a Raider catch 100, by the way. The team high is in the 90s. Todd Christensen.
Here's Marcus this time on the run. Marcus gets to midfield. Al Harris in on the tackle for the Bears. A little more than 6 minutes left to go in the third quarter. The Bears on defense doing a little shuffling around in their defensive line.
Raider record on pass receptions, 95 by tight end Todd Christensen in the year 1986.
And it's easy to see why with the great catches he's made here this evening. 2nd and 8. Blitz is on. The Raiders pick it up. And he tries to get it out to Trey Junkin. And it is incomplete. The Bears say they'd like to get back to that. The Raiders with 4 wide receivers from the shotgun. Berline throws. Todd Christensen. That's the reason why he caught 95 passes a few years ago.
Just got that one in under Jim Morrissey, the linebacker. Got the first down. The veteran tight end knowing how many yards he had to have for the first down and getting 1 yard more than that distance. Excellent protection up front. Drilled that one through.
Morrissey just missed it. And it's a pickup of 10 yards. Quarter first down at the Bear 40-yard line.
5 minutes left in the quarter.
Hot pass trying to get it out to Trey Junkin, and it is incomplete. Jim Morrissey came in. He was right in Berline's face without anyone touching him at all. That's why the pass was a little high.
Now, you don't always have the hot receiver situation. Sometimes you have forms of pass protection where you pick that person up and let somebody else go. So you have a variety of ways of handling the situations when the defense attacks you so that they're not certain as to what they're going to see.
Berline, a pretty good evening so far. One of the things that impresses the Raider coaches so much is the way he has grasped the offensive philosophy. Throws, complete to Christensen. Tackled by Jim Morrissey as he gets inside the 25 to about the 24-yard line. So all of a sudden, Todd Christensen has become the main man on the Raider passing attack.
When you've got the kind of speed the Raiders have on the outside, the defense is deformed by somebody like Galt. There is speed, and then there is super speed. And a guy like Galt will force a defense to do things that allow other people to get open just a little easier.
Isn't it amazing? Isn't it really amazing what one man can do for the rest of the squad?
Christensen now has 4 receptions for 56 yards.
First and 10. All at the 24-yard line of the Bears. Willie Galt and Chris Woods now in at the wide receiver. This is Marcus Allen. Marcus trying to bulldog his way down to the 21-yard line. Jim Morrissey in again on the tackle for the Bears.
Your offensive linemen really appreciate a running play like that once in a while when you've been throwing so much, to force the defense to kind of think about that you might run and not just tee off and pass rush down after down. It makes your job easier when you get a chance to fire out and block them for running plays. It helps you on the pass protection and subsequent plays.
Lofton is back in. Chris Woods is out. It's Marcus Allen again. Allen getting down close to the 15-yard line. Tackle made by Sean Smith. Smith in his second year from Grambling.
60 is an eligible receiver. 60 is eligible. 60.
Number 62, Mark Ports, offensive lineman of the Bears, there with the ice pack on the shoulder.
It is third down. 2 minutes, 40 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Third and about 1. Marcus. Inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. Sean Gale in on the tackle for Chicago.
Raiders ran that one over number 60, Corey Graves, who came in as a extra tight end.
It is first down. Less than 2 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Flag on the play. Just as the ball was snapped.
Movement in the right side of the offensive line for the Raiders. The Raiders were hurrying then because
Start prior to the snap, number 72 offense.
the 45-second clock was down to just half after 13 penalties for 100 yards in the first half.
First and 15. Berline, good protection. Throws for Galt. He's got it. And Willie Galt scores. Now, what's he going to do here at home? It's time to dance in the end zone, my friends, and I can tell you, his Raider teammates feel real happy for Willie Gault about that, being traded away from the Bears and then coming back and scoring a touchdown against them.
Number 24, Vesti Jackson, beat on the play. We'll watch it again. Plenty of time. Good job up front, 51, Bill Lewis. Gault fighting his way free from Jackson. The ball has a perfect lead. It lets him run to the football, run away from the defensive back.
And Barr's extra point conversion is good. So with a minute and 11 seconds left to go in the third quarter, it's the Raiders doubling up on the Chicago Bears. Score now, 30-15.
Against the San Diego Chargers in the Coliseum, and then on September 18th against the LA Rams.
Chris Barr kicking off for the Raiders. This is Eric Starr at the 2. Starr with a pretty good run back. Gets out to the Bear 35-yard line. A return of 33 yards, and we have 2 players injured.
One of the Bears and number 47, Reggie Ware, fullback of the Raiders, down on that kickoff return.
That's Sean Smith, number 97 of the Bears. And there is a timeout on the field as both players take over first and 10. Ball at their own 35-yard line. 58 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Jim McMahon. Oh, this is Tomczak is in right now. So Mike Tomczak comes in. Dennis Price, who's had a pretty active evening. That pass completion is good for 9 yards.
Here we'll see Price is just playing off him soft, recovering after the ball's thrown. Price is from UCLA. He's a rookie, 5th-round draft choice of the Raiders this year. Ron Wolf and the Raiders scouting department have had a fine season in 1988 with the draft.
Tomczak again. Good pass right across the middle. Complete to Cap Boza. That play is good for 6 yards, and that's a position where the Bears feel that they have, and that is the end of the third quarter here from Soldier Field in Chicago, where the Raiders lead the Chicago Bears 30-15.
So we had a first down.
Dan Marino of the Miami Dolphins will come into the Coliseum. Tickets are now on sale. You can call 640-6000. Raider office standing by right now.
Mike Tomczak and now Brad Muster from Stanford is in. Tomczak instead tries to throw a pass to the far sideline. It is ruled incomplete. Intended there for Wendell Davis. Dennis Price, a rookie from UCLA, defending for the Raiders.
Jim McMahon, he's finished for the day, played the first 3 quarters for the Bears. No doubt he'll be their starter. I think they play the Miami Dolphins in the opening ball game.
And whenever McMahon plays, it's really amazing. He's only started 24 of the last 54 games, but he has a record of 25-1 whenever he starts. Here's Tomczak from the shotgun. Throws. Pass is intended for Kozlowski. It is ruled complete. Russell Carter defending. Pickup of 9 yards on the play.
In his 3 quarters of work, replay look.
Third down and short now. Ball at the 39-yard line, rather the 41-yard line of the Raiders. Brad Muster, the big fullback from Stanford. That's more than enough yardage for the first down.
Muster was another of the Bears' first-round draft choices this year. Raiders had 3 excellent first-round picks, with the 6th player in the draft, Tim Brown. Here you see it again. Straight-ahead play. Trying to catch your defensive end, rushing upfield, thinking pass, opening that gap to his inside.
Mustard's a very strong runner because, as you can see, then he does not lean over that much. Once he learns how to lean over, then he's really going to be something. This is Thomas Sanders. Shifty moves, getting inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. Eddie Anderson.
Not just speed, Sanders has acceleration. That is that ability to burst, to shift gears, to get it in the high. Right now, watch the burst right there. Bang, up speed. One of the things that you really don't coach when you get to the professional level is speed, because at age 22, 24, 28, you can work with drills and things to improve footwork and polish, but speed at that stage is pretty well established.
And it is also short yardage situation. Tomczak pumps once, throws, and it's complete to Calvin Thomas, or rather Thomas Sanders. Thomas Sanders, you know, there was another example right there, Al, of what you were just talking about. Sometimes you can't teach moves like that, but those are just very natural moves for him.
And you could see the quickness as he gathered himself up and started to accelerate. You can't let a player like that have running room. Tomczak here. Plenty of time. They're staying short with the passing game right now. Good effort by McKenzie. Almost got over the top for that one.
Tomczak already 4 of 5 for 34 yards. Throws, and he gets his 5th completion. Down to the Raider 5-yard line. Pass complete there to Wendell Davis. Ball at the Raider 5-yard line. Thomas Sanders, Brad Muster in the backfield for the Bears. Rollout. And Tomczak is forced out of bounds inside the 5-yard line by Ron Brown.
Look at this one from inside the end zone. See the ball handling is to try and confuse the linebackers in the secondary. Tomczak turns the corner. Russ Carter, 29, comes up. 64, Ron Brown helps to run him across the boundary. You know, the sideline is the best tackler in football. If you can get a guy across the sideline doesn't miss tackles.
Ever.
Sometimes an official may stretch it a little bit in there, but humans will miss him. The sideline is certain.
Wendell Davis is back in the game now. This is Brad Muster. The big man gets down to about the 3 or 4 yard line. Reggie McKenzie leading the tacklers for the Raiders. There was an example there of him running so high that he gave 4 or 5 defensive people a target at.
Yeah, you would like to get forward lean and not give the defensive people your whole chest as a target. When you get your shoulders forward, you're hitting with a stronger part of your body with some velocity. But when you're as tall as Muster is, you give a big target inside there.
That's Ron Brown, the injured Raider.
Ron Brown, number 64, drafted a year ago by the San Diego Chargers. Let's see if we can see him in here. He's in the bottom of that pile-up. Here you see somebody kind of rolls on his ankle.
From 1 yard out. This is Sanders. And he scores. Thomas Sanders, who Monday night had an 86-yard touchdown reception against the Dallas Cowboys. He has 2 touchdowns rushing. He now has 3. And the Bears are on the scoreboard here in the 4th quarter.
Is a big point right now.
Sure is. And I remember it so well because one official said it was good and the other ruled against it. But this time they all agree the extra point conversion is good. 10 minutes, 48 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. Raiders lead the Bears 30-22. Can we get paid by the... You didn't even hear what I was going to say. Whenever the team flight leaves. Yes, sir. There was like a 12:30 a.m., but we'll make that one.
Nobody told you that he has your seat? So you can get a single room and stay over, he flies.
Kevin Butler will kick off. Chris Wood, Jim Brown are deep for the Raiders.
So 52 points have been scored, and we have a little more than 10 minutes left to play in the fourth quarter.
Raiders had the ball 10 minutes and 29 seconds in that third quarter after having it only 13 minutes and 9 seconds the entire first half.
Kevin Butler all set to kick off. Good high deep kick. Tim Brown decides to down it in the end zone. The Raiders will take over 1st and 10.
Okay, one of the reasons that kickers will do that, kick returners will do that, the average over a 10-year period of running a ball out of the end zone is just 18 yards.
And Andy Parker.
That's 91, Eric Snelson.
Is that 91 instead of 81?
Yep.
Okay, Eric Snelson. He's in pain.
Snelson is a converted tight end the Raiders have made into a linebacker. Rookie from Stanford.
And at first it looked like they were working on his left ankle.
Steve Berline coming back into the ball game as Snelson goes out. Berline is 7 for 10 for 93 yards and 1 touchdown in the second half, and overall has completed 16 of his 30 pass attempts, 257 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. George Anderson, you see there in the black sweater helping Snelson off, is the Raiders' original trainer and the only member of this organization to have been with the silver and black the entire 29 years.
So Steve Berline is still at quarterback. Mervin Fernandez makes his first appearance tonight at the wide receiver position along with Tim Brown. Vance Mueller, Steve Smith in the backfield for the Raiders. And Berline gets tripped up as he tries to back away from center after the snap. So it will be 2nd and 15 as Mueller, Steve Smith, and Trey Junkin leave.
Willie Brown to the left, defensive backfield coach. Head coach Mike Shanahan in the middle. Wide receiver coach Nick Nicolau to the right of your screen.
And Steve Smith left, and he came right back into the game.
Well, with Reggie Ware hurt, we're down to just one other fullback.
Yeah, double duty from the shotgun. Berline pumps. He gets tackled from behind.
Now he would be in the grass, in control. Ball's dead.
Ralph Jarvis, a rookie from Temple, number 69.
Berline's looking downfield.
Quarterback
We
was
call
in
that
grasping
flagging.
control.
Now there he is. He's
Consequently, no
grabbed.
fumble.
The defensive man has control of him. That kills the play. That rule was put in a number of years ago to safeguard the quarterbacks and minimize the injuries. It's not just grasping. Grasp and control by the defender. The whistle blows.
So the Raiders now moving backwards. It is 3rd and 10. 3rd and 20, I should say, from their own 10-yard line. 4 wide receivers in for Los Angeles. Across the middle. Intended for Mervin Fernandez. Incomplete.
It would have been a big completion. Would have been a first down and kept possession.
So now the Bears should get the ball in decent field position. Bears. Good high punt. Oregon bobbles the ball. And Chris Woods almost got it away from him. But Woods may have hurt himself on the play.
Get a second look. Last second he just looked up. Have to look the ball in. That's the number one thing. First, catch the ball. Second, don't lose yardage. Third, try to make yardage. Fourth, try to break it all the way. But the progression starts with possession.
And fifth, if you do one of the first two, don't go and stand next to the head coach on the sidelines. Punt of 46 yards, 30-22. Raiders on top of the Bears. Yes, sir. You got the Howie Long thing all queued up? Oh, okay. .9:14 left to go in the fourth quarter. Mike Tomczak at quarterback for the Chicago Bears. Thomas Sanders in the backfield along with Brad Mustard. Complete to Mustard out of the backfield. Sammy Seal making first contact for the Raiders.
George Nelson being taken off on the cart.
As you can see, they are putting pressure and holding his ankle.
The National Football League requires that in all the stadiums we play in, there has to be an X-ray unit available in one of the dressing rooms, and that's what they'll do first. Take him in there, X-ray it before they move him around very much.
On 2nd and 4, Tomczak down the middle, intended for Wendell Davis, and it is incomplete. There's a flag on the play. Eddie Anderson, who's had a very busy evening in the second half for the Raiders, came up with a fine interception.
Penalty call is holding on the Chicago Bears.
Holding, number 79 offense, still second down.
So that will bring it back. Penalty then against Kurt Becker. I would imagine Mr. Dipp is going to be a little upset.
Well, if the Bears don't pull this one out, they will have finished the preseason 1-3. And they'd like to end with a win.
This would be the first time that he hasn't won the final preseason game in 5 years also. From the shotgun. Now the referee is ruling, Jerry Seaman is ruling that Bill Packel,
I think it's, that is Packel.
Number 71, had grasp and control in the backfield for the sack, which will be a play of -11.
Again, not the world's most popular rule, but put in because quarterbacks were just getting wiped out a few years ago. The competition committee that Al Davis was one of the key members of for many years tried to develop adjustments within the rules to keep the quarterbacks on the field and still not, as some of the Steeler linebackers said, qualify them for wearing dresses.
8 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. Tomczak at quarterback. 4 wide receivers now for the Bears. Pressure's on. And it is complete right at the sideline. Russell Carter delivered a blow to the head then, and I don't think the Bears or their fans like that at all. To Rogie McGee. It's a pickup of 6 yards.
Carter playing soft there because with 25 yards needed, you let him catch the ball in front of you, make the sure tackle, and get the ball back after the punt.
So Tim Brown is back to receive the punt now. Heisman Trophy winner from Notre Dame, who played just 90 miles up the highway. And Tim Brown makes a fair catch on Robbins' punt. A punt of 32 yards and no return. 7 minutes, 38 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. Raiders lead the Bears. That's all we got was Robbins.
Do you have a first name on Robbins? Do you have a first name on Robbins?
Monty? Okay. Monty Robbins. Thank you. I'm Jim Hill along with Al LOCASALE. Steve Berline has gone all the way at quarterback for the Raiders.
Up front, the Raider offensive line, 4 of the 5 starters are still in there. That unit has yet to play a game together until tonight. Coach Shanahan said he would let them get most of the work as a group because they've got to play the league opener in 9 days as a group.
And also to help protect Berline. This is Vance Mueller. Vance maintaining his balance to the 37-yard line. David Tate, rookie from Colorado, in on the tackle for the Bears.
Raider strength coach John Dunn has really done a job working with Vance Mueller in the last 2 years. Has taken him from a 205-pounder with outstanding speed to a 217-pounder who hasn't lost even half a step speed-wise.
That time a pickup of 4 yards, which makes it 2nd and 6. Mueller again. He really gets through that hole with a great deal of speed, even though he too runs just a little high from time to time.
Vance Mueller was a sprinter and a broad jumper in college, and he's got that explosive start you expect of someone who's learned to come out of the starting blocks or come off that takeoff board in an event like the broad jump.
Six minutes and 39 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter, as the officials will bring out the yard markers now to measure, as the Raiders try to get their first victory of the preseason and their first victory for head coach Mike Shanahan.
Now that camera was
from the
reverse angle. Don't get confused on that one.
It wasn't a mirror you were looking into.
Where the ball was, that it was a first, but that camera angle was from the opposite side of the field. That's Jay Hilgenberg, veteran center. The Chicago Bears there on the sideline. It's quite a stadium. This is the second oldest stadium in the National Football League. The only one that's older than it is our Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, but they've rebuilt it. They've made an intimate facility out of it to put people a lot closer to the field than they used to be.
Steve Smith. Smith has enough yardage for the first down.
This used to be a cavernous stadium that seated about 100,000 people. At one end, they just shut the end off, built permanent stands in much closer to the field at that end, less than 30 feet from the end of the end zone to the front row of seats at either end, and about 42 to 45 along the side. The kind of intimate stadium that the Raiders want, that makes the fan a part of the home field advantage.
When you talk to the players, the best thing they could have ever done at this stadium was take out the AstroTurf and put in natural grass. On first down, toss back to Mueller. Vance gets run out of bounds by Mickey Pruitt. Mickey, rookie from Colorado, picks up about 5 yards.
One thing that Vance might think about when he looks at the tape of that one is staying in bounds to keep the clock going. There's 5 minutes and 46 seconds left in the final quarter. You want to see that clock moving. You've got an 8-point lead. Bears have to score twice, either 2 touchdowns or a touchdown and a field goal, to get back on top. You want to see the clock move.
Second down, ball at the 50-yard line. Mueller again. Picks up 2.5, maybe 3 yards at the most.
And stumbled as he was stutter stepping in the hole there. There was a little more daylight there, but he lost his footing. Field has held up pretty well considering that it was resurfaced within the last 2 weeks. They converted it from artificial turf to grass about 2 months ago, later than it should have been. And it tore up completely in the first preseason game here. They had to redo it. About 2/3 of the field had to be redone within the last 2 weeks. And considering that, it's held up well.
That's right, and especially since they had that bad drought here in the Midwest, and they couldn't get the water that they needed to put on. Burline to the far sideline. Pass is ruled complete to Tim Brown.
Big play, moves the chains, first down. Raiders now continue possession.
Pick up of 14 yards. Vesti Jackson in on the tackle for the Bears.
4 minutes and 40 seconds left in the final quarter, the final preseason game of 1988. 9 days from now, the Raiders open up against the Chargers in the Coliseum. Good protection, and again, the quarterback, it's ideal when he can see, and it's nice to be able to see someone who was a first-round draft choice on the outside get open like that.
You talk about opening up against the San Diego Chargers. That's a team that's really trying to find its own identity right now, too. They've had major changes there.
Well, they have been one of the great passing teams, and with a loss of Fouts, they're trying to go a different route, but they've got a lot of talent.
Stands Mueller again.
That'll be the 57th game, I believe, between the Raiders and Chargers coming up, and really what has become a storied rivalry.
Pick up then by Mueller of 5 yards.
Tickets for the next Sunday's opener against the Chargers and for all the Raider League games are available throughout the week at the Raider ticket office, through Ticketron, Ticketmaster, and at the LA Sports Arena box office right next to the Coliseum.
3.5 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. Burline going deep for Mervin Fernandez. And Mervin goes high. And they rule it touchdown, Los Angeles. Oh, what a super effort by Mervin Fernandez.
6'3", and he used it all on that one. Mervin is close to 200 pounds. He used his size to just get better position on the football. Here's going down the sideline. Doesn't look as fast as he is. Turns it on there. Now watch the concentration on the football. Know where it is. Go up. Bring it into your body. If you leave it hanging out there in your arms, they're going to strip your arms down, spring the ball free. Get it into your body.
That's good for 32 yards and a score. That's Mervin's 4th reception of the preseason and first touchdown. Chris Barr in to attempt the extra point conversion. And it is good. So after a 32-yard touchdown pass from Steve Burline to Mervin Fernandez, the Raiders open up their lead. You're looking at it right there by 15 points. That's 3 touchdown passes by Burline.
It's the most points the Raiders have scored in a preseason game since 1979.
We'll get that right now.
That scoring drive by the Los Angeles Raiders, 8 plays, 67 yards, took 4 minutes and 21 seconds. Score coming on a Steve Berline and Mervyn Fernandez pass, 32 yards. Berline's third touchdown pass of the day. Score is now Raiders 37, Bears 22, and the 37 points so far for the Raiders is the most in a preseason game by the Silver and Black since 1979.
This is Eric Starr at the 5-yard line. Gets away from Ron Fellows. Eric Starr gets over the 25 to about the 27-yard line. Bears will take over 1st and 10 after a return of 22 yards.
You know, Mike Ditka, Bear head coach, is not going to be happy about this one, but all the coaches will look at the tapes of their games at the end of the preseason, look for the positive things to build on, and then put those tapes away, because the league season starts for 13 teams next Sunday, and then on ABC the following Monday night.
From the shotgun is Mike Tomczak. And all the players on both sides are doing right now are saying, let the clock run non-stop. Tomczak throws, and it looks like it is intercepted.
94, Stacey Harvey.
Stacey Harvey from Arizona State, a rookie. Great interception.
We'll take a look here. Tomczak has some time, steps up. Ball deflected up by the receiver. Now watch Harvey get an arm in underneath it to keep it from going to the ground. We have an obstructed view on that one. The officials say it's good. Probably looking at the replay now. That's the 7th turnover the Raiders have forced tonight.
And the 17th turnover for the Bears this preseason.
The Bears have yet to get a turnover, either an interception or a fumble recovery in 4 preseason games.
And that look on the bench tells the whole story as far as the Bears' efforts this evening. Vance Mueller.
Good pop.
First contact made by Dante Jones.
2:38 left and counting. Taking another look at the interception. I think it's, again, obstructed when Harvey comes in, but Harvey does a great job of covering a lot of ground, being alert. Yes, there are drills called the tip drill in which the linebackers and defensive backs practice that kind of reaction. Famous tip drill.
2nd and 11. Mueller. Staying inbounds, keeping the clock rolling. David Tate, rookie from Colorado. And with that play, we will now have the 2-minute warning. So 2 minutes left to go in the final quarter. The Raiders are leading the Bears. The Raiders looking for their first victory of the '88 preseason. Soldier Field here in Chicago, Illinois is just about empty as the outcome of tonight's ball game is no longer in doubt, as the Raiders are about to get their first victory for new head coach Mike Shanahan in the '88 preseason.
Of course, it's especially nice for Mike to get it in the final game, go into the league season on a positive note, and get it here in front of friends and family, being an Illinois resident himself.
Steve Berline has gone the distance this evening. He's thrown 3 touchdown passes. And right now, Steve is lined up in the shotgun on 3rd and 4. Inside handoff. Still trying to just run the clock right on out. Steve Strahan.
A normal game, that's a probable passing situation, but there's no reason to here, no reason to endanger your quarterback, and no reason to run up the score. The Bears have had a number of injuries this preseason, and they're hurting. There's just no reason to just put another score on the board at this time. You don't want to thwart your people and prevent them from having an opportunity to practice things that you want to use in the ball game, but at the same time, there's a certain amount of humanitarianism and compassion to be demonstrated.
And
might throw here, though, with a 4th down.
Just ruin everything that you just said. This is Vance Mueller. Good defensive effort then by the Bears, throwing Vance Mueller for a loss. Tackle made by Troy Johnson, rookie from Oklahoma. So now, quite naturally, the thoughts of the Raiders turn towards the regular season and the San Diego Chargers.
Well, you've got 60-man squad now. Has to go down to 47 Monday morning. Very difficult cuts for Al Davis and the coaching staff. Mr. Davis is going back to Pittsburgh early in the morning to attend the funeral of Bart Rooney, the owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers, who passed away recently at age 87. But then everybody will get together over the weekend and take a look at those films.
And they will be pleased with the efforts they see for the most part this evening as Tomczak gets the ball to Eric Starr.
Excellent job by number 56, Milt McCall. Read the screen, came up, forced it, kept the ball carrier inbounds, keep the clock running. At this stage, the #1 goal in everybody's mind is to get home with no injuries in this last minute.
Pass across the middle, that's to Starr again. Starr bouncing around, Sammy Seal making the tackle. We have a little less than 30 seconds to go now in the 4th quarter. Pickup of 17 yards. And the Bears call timeout.
That is Chicago's first timeout. That'll be a 40-second timeout.
There's Greg Landry.
Greg Landry, a quarterback for many years with the Detroit Lions, now on the coaching staff with the Bears. And this year, Mike Ditka has decided to take a greater responsibility in the overall game operation and have someone else call the offensive plays for him. Given that job to Landry, and as you can see, Tomczak's had a big night, 9 for 11, and he's done it primarily with first and early second unit players in there on defense for the Raiders. When you get to preseason game 4, you've got to give your starters and your special substitution regulars an opportunity to play a long period of time, because that's what they've got to do from there on in for 16 league games.
.22 seconds left to go. Tomczak in the shotgun. Throws to the far sidelines, complete to Keith Ortego. Ortego steps out of bounds at the 35-yard line.
Down to 14 seconds left. Now the Bears can take their time, because with the ball having gone out of bounds, clock is stopped. 45-second clock starts the minute the play was ruled dead. Previous play.
The Bears now with 3 wide receivers to the bottom of your screen. Again from the shotgun. Tomczak to the near sideline. Intended for Keith Ortego, and it's almost intercepted. Milton McCall in his 8th year from Stanford, deflecting the ball and knocking it away.
Milton McCall has his medical degree. Attended medical school at Stanford University after graduating there. talking to him on the plane coming into Chicago, he feels he'll specialize in orthopedic medicine, which is quite a field for someone who's been in the football business, because they have been around orthopedists and orthopedic needs.
Just a few seconds left on the clock. Once again, 3 wide receivers at the bottom of your screen. Tomczak throwing deep. The Raiders are back. Ball is up. And it is ruled incomplete. The pass was intended for Ortego, and that is the last play of the last preseason game of 1988 for the Los Angeles Raiders and the Chicago Bears, as the Raiders get their first victory for head coach Mike Shanahan. Final score, 37-22.
Pushy, pushy, pushy.
Seconds from now, I'll lead into him. Okay. Then tell me when to start with the billboard. So the final score here from Soldier Field in Chicago: the Los Angeles Raiders defeat the Chicago Bears 37-22. Big night for Steve Berline. 3 touchdown passes. All in all, Al, he has to feel very good about himself going into the regular season now.
You know, it's the longest he's played since coming into professional football a year ago. He played well, no interceptions, hit the open receiver, stayed cool under the rush, did what he had to do, and it gives him, his teammates, the offense, the defense, everybody a positive feeling, but it's just something to build on. We're 0-0-0. No wins, no losses, no ties, going into the opener on September 4th against the Chargers in the Coliseum.
And one of those 3 touchdown passes thrown to number 83, Willie Gault, who came back and had a very successful night against his former teammates. This has been Los Angeles Raiders preseason football. This is Jim Hill for Al LOCASALE, thanking you for joining us. Raider football was brought to you by Bud Light, proud sponsor of the 1988 U.S. Olympic team. By Nissan Cars and Trucks, built for the most important race of all, the human race. By AM/PM Mini Markets. You'd be surprised what's cooking at AM/PM. By Taco Bell. Enjoy the great taste of Taco Bell at over 280 locations throughout greater Los Angeles. And by Lincoln Mercury. With great year-end savings, now is the time to test drive a new Mercury Sable. So stop by your local Southern California Lincoln Mercury dealer today. A reminder, be sure to join us every Saturday at 4:30 p.m. for Raiders Playbook, the exclusive highlight program of the Los Angeles Raiders.